Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello, and welcome to episode 50 of Swish and Flick. I'm Sarah.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Katie.
We are again joined by our good friend of the podcast. Welcome to Ezra, the Jedi Knight, who just wants to go to Hogwarts. He's still waiting on his letter.
Guys, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Are you?
I am happy, actually. I actually just dabbed a second ago when you introduced me there. No one could see it, but
I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
I did a little dabarooski there.
Oh
so
my gosh.
Dabarooski.
ready to go.
This episode is sponsored by Tamron Clay, so thank you. Right? That's right.
Thanks,
Yes.
Tamron.
Thank you.
Tamra is what I call her.
Thanks,
I think.
Tam.
And
Tim
we're sending
Tams?
you love.
Oh my God, your name is like Tim Tams, and
Oh my
those are from
gosh.
Australia, and I love it.
I'm calling you Tim Tam from now on.
Tim Tam.
We are sending you love all the way to Australia because we love you.
Yeah.
And shout out to you for getting up in the morning when we do our Google Hangouts because it's literally 8 a.m. there or whatever.
Honest to God.
That's crazy.
You are dedicated and we love you.
All right. So today we will be discussing Chapter 8 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Flight of the Fat Lady. So make sure that you have read the chapter and you're ready to get deep into the details with us. But before we begin with any of the social media, we're going to let Ezra talk about himself for a little bit.
Just real quick, were we supposed to read the chapter before we jumped into this?
You didn't have to. You could
We were
just
supposed-
remember
not
things.
read the
We were supposed to read the chapter. Okay. I just wasn't
We
sure.
had some requests on social media to get to know Ez a little bit better, so that's what we're going to do now.
I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
don't-
kidding. We love you.
Whoa, that came from my favorite person on the podcast.
Okay,
I love
10
you,
minutes
Ez.
ago
I love you
you
too.
said I was your favorite person.
Yeah,
on
it
the
depends
Okay.
on,
Wow.
it
What's
depends
going
on
on?
who's in the room, but I love you all.
I've never gotten a
Uh-huh.
favorite.
So-
I'm just going to cry deeply tonight.
Wow. Okay.
Deeply. Shallowly.
I love all of you. Oh,
Shallow
goodness.
and dry, no tears coming tonight.
So, yeah, what should
Okay,
I share?
first,
I mean,
what's your house?
I am in Hufflepuff house.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite thing about being a Hufflepuff?
Well, basically that we're the coolest. We like to eat food. We
Yeah.
got like I feel like we're like just if you wanted to come hang out and just chill out somewhere in Hogwarts, you'd come hang out with Hufflepuffs.
You know where to go.
I have a
Yeah.
question about Hufflepuffs. Are they do they smoke gillyweed?
Wow. They,
I mean,
the,
they don't smoke any more gillyweed than the average
Than the
Hogwarts
average.
student.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just, Hufflepuff. I heard they have a reputation.
Can I ask a question
Uh-huh.
about the people sitting at this table?
Yeah.
sure, you can ask away. You go right ahead.
Has anyone here smoked gillyweed?
I have
Gillyweed?
not.
No.
Okay.
I don't know
Are we
what
supposed
that's
to
about.
answer honestly, or are we just say confessional? What's going on?
So let's talk about Ezra.
I've never done it.
Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah, same. Scout's honor. I'm a good Hufflepuff.
Do you know what your Ilvermorny house is?
I do. I have everything pulled up here on
Awesome.
Pottermore. I am, I don't know much about Ilvermorny at all, but Horned Serpent.
Okay.
All right.
Is that good, Katie? Is that bad? What's yours? 'Cause
I'm a Thunderbird.
Thunderbird, so okay. All right.
Wampus over here.
Wampus on her second try. Wampus on my first. Just
Wait, which
saying.
one's the, I don't even know.
What's the cool house?
Yeah, which one's
Wampus?
Wampus.
What's wrong with Horned Serpent?
Nothing. not
Horned
as cool as
Serpent. Okay, so I
Wampus.
know that a lot of the times they're like, no, you can't compare the Ilvermorny houses and Hogwarts houses. But people have seen similarities in the descriptions of Horned Serpent and Ravenclaw, actually.
You're a smart dude.
Yeah,
Are you a
okay.
Huffleclaw?
You read a lot.
then?
You're a teacher. I mean, makes
I might
sense.
actually be more of a Huffleclaw. That's cool.
I'm a
like that.
Huffledore. It's all good.
Really?
Guys,
Really? Yeah.
he's on 1,000,001 podcasts, and all they do are read. So, he reads and stuff. Like
He
Ravenclaws
reads and
do.
stuff.
He just reads Lord of the Rings.
He
Yeah.
reads Bend the Knee. No, that's not what it's called.
Well, it's what the name of the podcast
What is
is
it
called.
called?
But,
The Song of
Game
Fire and Ice?
Yep.
Well,
song,
the first book is Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. It's a Song of Ice and Fire. Yes.
What did I call it?
Fire and
Ice. That's such a Cheryllism. That's so like something my mom would do.
Full
Same
disclosure,
difference.
though, before I really got into all of those, in all seriousness, I was telling Tiffany this today because I got a chance to go over and see Tiffany, which was awesome. And we went out. We sat in her nice new van. case you guys didn't know.
I didn't get a chance. I had to hold the
She
baby
got
inside.
a mom van.
It's so awesome.
I
It
wouldn't
was-
know.
Mom-mobile.
Yeah, it's epic. So we're sitting in there and we're talking about Harry Potter. And once you guys kind of started your Harry Potter podcast, I like stopped reading. I like would listen to you guys.
That's what you told me last weekend.
Yeah, because I every year from like around Christmas time, I would start it up with my buddy Tom. We would listen actually because I had a 15-minute drive to work. I would just plow through it, and once you guys started, plow through. Yes, I said that, but so
Lane had
anyways,
an issue with it in one of their.
it's a thing I
extra
say. It just means to put your head down and.
Shrug
Read
on
them all.
through.
Listen to them all.
Hold
Right
on,
there.
you drive with your head down?
No, well, sort of.
Okay.
But no, anyways, I used to listen to Harry Potter all the time, and I kind of stopped because I started doing other book clubs and stuff. So it's actually been really refreshing to like get back into
So
it.
we made you branch out, actually, even though we started a Harry Potter podcast.
I mean-
Yeah.
But you had already read all of the books you're talking about on your other podcast.
Oh, I had.
Yeah.
But just like the ones that I honestly had read it 7 or 8 times Harry Potter through. I had read it 7 or 8 times.
It's more than me.
And I'm being dead serious. Listened to, I should say. Thank you for the.
You're welcome.
I listen all the time. It's my favorite way to get through the books,
I love it.
actually.
I actually like it better than I expected it. So
Yeah.
You listen to the Jim Dale ones?
I don't know.
I bet
That-
she does.
Well, probably that's
Yeah,
like
that's
the
the only-
American
Do they
one.
say Canut?
I haven't heard him say cannot, but he says
Is Hermione's
Dervish and
voice really
banshees.
bad?
Harry.
Yeah, that's great. That's actually
I
exactly
hate
what
it,
is.
man. I love Jim Dale, but I can't stand that.
Yeah, that's a good call.
your wand.
My wand. Okay, I'm really proud of my wand. Okay, I have an English oak wood with
Ooh.
unicorn hair core. It's 10 3/4, slightly yielding flexibility. And you know what I think that means? Slightly yielding flexibility. What? What do you think it means?
No, I'm not going to say what I think it means, but I was going to ask a question about your wand.
Oh, go ahead. What? Yeah, sure.
I can say it.
Oh no! Oh no! Yes, it's straight. Is that what you're gonna ask? I knew you were. I knew you were, and yes, it is. That's all we're gonna say about that, and we're good. So, anyways, but that the fact that it's slightly yielding flexibility, I think that means I'm a go with the flow type of really easygoing. What is wrong with? Sarah is honestly having a little.
I don't know what to say, but you start choking.
I think she's. This is off to a great start.
Sorry.
Are you
Wow.
okay?
Yeah.
All right. I just saw you dribbling over there.
Oh, God.
I honestly, is that the voices? Is there something going? You have too much going on inside
No,
you.
I
Is
just
that-
laughed at what you said.
All right, I'm
That's all,
sorry.
with the mouth
You
full of
don't
water.
think I'm an easygoing, go with the flow type of person?
You are.
Yes.
That's what I thought. You know, so
What's the length again?
it is 10 3/4. Yeah.
Ooh, mine's the biggest on the table.
Really?
12 something?
It's like 12 and 1/4 inch.
Wow. Can I tell you guys my Patronus?
Yes.
Okay. It's an Irish wolfhound.
How do you
I
feel
like
about
it.
that? Because
I
don't you not
really-
like dogs?
You know, that's actually good call. I am more of a cat person, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm alone on this table. I'm more of a dog person. Not to say I don't like cats, but
Yeah. Yes.
I think that it's really interesting, and I actually just learned this about you through Unexpected Podcast, but you're Scottish. So it's interesting that
That's-
your wand is English oak.
I know.
You're Scottish, and your Patronus is Irish wolfhound.
I know,
You're
it
just
was-
like all UK.
But here's the thing. So my okay, here's another tidbit. So my father and my family, the Kirk family, is very Scottish. My mom's side, the Chadwicks, are very English/Irish. So they're all just kind of
That's
a mixed.
amazing.
Yeah, it's like a mixed batch. So
it usually
Chadwick,
happens.
yeah, and so it's
Meant to be.
wild. So anyways, yeah, that's a little bit about me and my Patronus and my wand and house. I'm very, very, very proud to be a Hufflepuff, though.
Yeah.
I literally talk about it all the time because I
He
think it fits
does.
me so well, and I was so happy when I was sorted. It was great.
Who's your favorite character?
Ooh, favorite character? You mean just I can only pick one?
Yeah, in
What?
in the universe of Harry Potter. You can't be like Frodo or Samwise or like
Okay.
Jon Snow.
John, unfortunately. Okay. This is easy. Professor McGonagall.
Okay.
McG.
Yeah. Yep. And you'll see why later. I can confirm that later on in when I'm gonna, read about or talk about today at the beginning of the show. So
Cool.
yeah.
What's your favorite book?
Ooh, wow, that's a tough one. That is really tough. Gosh, I honestly just even book and movie. I like. No, I'm sorry. Book, Goblet of Fire, and movie, Half-Blood Prince.
I'm sorry, you can't be on this podcast.
Why?
Goblet of Fire is your favorite book.
You don't like Goblet
No,
of Fire?
I like the book. I just don't like the
It's just a
movie.
joke.
Yeah, the movie is bad. It's just a joke.
We rag on it a little too
I'm
much.
jesting. I'm jesting.
Oh my god.
Did you guys
I
like
thought
the
you
book?
said you were ingesting.
What?
Did you guys like the book though? The
I like the book.
Goblet of Fire. Yeah.
I like the book much better than the movie.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite book though.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Agreed.
Huh.
And your movie was Half-Blood Prince?
Half-Blood.
I like that one because it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
if
like
you
the humor.
could if you had to take only 6 books, which one would you leave out?
Like if you had to get rid of one of the
You
Harry
can
Potter
only
one I
books.
read
don't-
6
to
of
never
the Harry
read
Potter
again.
books for forever.
Wow.
Which one would
Someone
you
asked us this on Instagram, and I was like,
Yeah, and
"Ooh,
I
it's a
like
good
that.
question."
It's a good question.
A book that I have to leave
Yeah.
out.
Which one out of the 7 would
Oh
you
my
leave out?
gosh. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. This is terrible. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Prisoner.
I was gonna say it's gonna
I'm sorry. You asked the question. I don't know what to say. If I
Ezra, get out of this basement right now.
What was I supposed to do? I don't know. I mean,
Pick any other book but Prisoner.
no. Okay, here's the thing. I like the characters that are introduced here, but the thing that
okay.
I do.
Nice
I do.
little save.
I do. I love Lupin. Is one of my favorite
He's
people.
Yeah, but
staring
you
at
just
Katie
wanna
while he says
cut him
this.
out.
You're beyond
Katie,
saving right
please,
now.
no. But here's the thing. I actually, I love the, like Chamber. There's something I like about Chamber. I don't know. It's the Ginny Weasley, connection, and I don't know. So
Okay.
Ginny gets way cooler in later books. I'm
she
just
does,
saying.
she does. But it's just kind of neat. I don't know. I like it, and I like the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher and the craziness that goes on there with that.
Okay.
It's just kind of, I don't know. So that's what. Yeah.
You're
Anywho.
lucky this is not my first meeting with you.
Yeah. I'm
That would've
so
left
sorry.
a bad taste in Kate's mouth, man.
Oh.
All right, are we ready?
I was gonna say there might be some
I
other good
guess that-
questions.
That brought me down hard.
We can
man.
also
I'm just kidding.
we can also ask him on other episodes too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
Meg, why don't you talk about our social media and how our listeners need them?
Okay, so if you need any social medias,
Which you do.
We're on all of them pretty much. You can find us on Facebook at Swish and Flick Podcast or Swish Flick Cast on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. All of our podcasts are posted there, as well as fun vlogs, such as the one that we recorded tonight called Puff's Pastry. So,
Yeah.
you guys can find more about what that is all about on the tube of you. So, you can head on over to Patreon as well to get exclusive access to the Felix Files, which is our bi-monthly bonus episodes, a chance to be a guest on the Felix Files, a live video chat session with us monthly on Zoom, giveaways, live podcast recordings, and more. So if that sounds fun, you can find us at patreon.com/swishflickcast and choose your support level. Lastly, if you don't want to go to all those different places to find us on all the different social medias, you can just go to our website. It's pretty easy. Yes, Ezra?
We'll go ahead and finish the website. It's cool. You just get to plug in for that, and I've got a criticism here. Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. I just noticed something.
Okay.
I just noticed something, and I think
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be a little help here in just a second. So go ahead.
Okay. You can find us at swishflickcast.com. All of the information about Swish and Flick is compiled into one place, along with our merchandise. Yes.
You might want to super pay attention to our website as we approach our 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
Ooh,
I agree with that.
Pluggerooski there.
Announcement.
have-
I'm leaving.
We might have some things coming out that you
We'll
might
see.
be interested in.
We'll see.
So I don't know what this. I mean, we do this in some of the podcasts I work on. I don't know where you guys are at. It's cool. You're kind of catching up. It's fine. But MySpace. Where's your MySpace page?
Oh,
I don't understand. Like all the social
It is
media
still a
needs. Where
website.
come
know.
on. I mean, can we please get a MySpace page
Can
for
we
Swish and
bring
Flick?
MySpace back?
I'm
Let's do
serious.
it.
I think you can still sign up for one.
you can.
Lastly, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons. You make this podcast possible, and we love you.
Thank you. I'm a patron.
You
so
are
I really
a
appreciate
patron.
that.
You are a patron, and we, Swish and Flick, are a patron of Unexpected Podcasts.
Do
Thank
you
you.
listen to our episodes, Ezra?
I do.
Yeah,
I
when
do
was the
listen
last
to
time
'em.
you listened to one?
Well, I listened to one last week.
Yeah, what happened? Did it?
I was on it, and I think, it was great. So, I mean, no, I listen every week. I honestly, there for a while during Chamber, I got a little busy, and I wasn't able to I had to kind of catch up or whatever. And then
Okay. You just stopped listening.
no,
Just admit
I was
it.
going to keep going, but then you guys were like, hey, you want to swing on up here to do some recording, and so I actually jumped ahead to listen to all of your Prisoner stuff, so I could kind of get
Did
caught
you
up.
research?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
you did your
Yeah,
research.
so-
I want to give a special thank you to our patrons that are listening live right now.
Oh my God! So thank you.
Yes.
Because also, so we said keep an eye out on our website for our 1 year anniversary because we have some stuff that's going to come out. But they're also planning something for us, and we have no idea what it is. But it's for our anniversary, apparently.
I
And
Oh.
I
love
literally just
them.
got like chills right now for real.
crazy.
They're just honestly, our listeners are the best. Sorry, Ez. Well, I guess really,
A lot of his
really,
listeners are
all
our
of your
listeners.
listeners are from us.
Guys,
so
I'm a listener, okay?
Whoa.
I mean, hold on here. Maybe I'm working on the special surprise for you, and I'll just veto this, okay? let me hit up Lacey and Jessica and the rest of them, and just. I'm just kidding. Oh, just kidding. All right.
yeah, okay. Oh, so still green. Weekly profit this week.
Green.
I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to talk about Funko Pops at Target because that's a
Oh.
conversation for another day.
Oh.
But Target has a brand new Harry Potter line that just came out that's really
Saw it.
awesome.
It's
So-
it's awesome,
I
but
literally
not
had to
for your
walk away.
wallet.
No, it's not bad.
No,
No, but, like,
because
just
I want to
when
buy
you-
it all.
right,
Yeah.
Right. But it's affordable stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's not overpriced at all. They've got comforters, sheets, pillowcases. We bought the Slytherin and Hufflepuff pillowcases, just saying. There's a really cute Hedwig pillow, Harry pillow. We've got bookends that are like Hedwig bookends. There's a Deathly Hallows lamp. They've got a couple different blankets. There's a ton
Oh,
of
there's
stuff.
a Hufflepuff blanket I want really
Trying to-
bad.
Hedwig bookends.
Isn't there a Mayor of Erised?
Yes.
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 Yeah, a little like desk mirror of Erised,
It's
which
so cute.
I dig.
Sweatpants.
They've
Oh,
got
no.
sweatpants, jogger pants,
Oh my.
more
Socks.
Wow.
Oh, they also have a ton of wall decals, and one of them says, "Don't let the Muggles get you down."
Oh, how fitting.
So
Where's
I thought
Tiffany
that's
when you
cute.
need her?
I know.
Slam
So
on me.
yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I'm guessing. Oh, they have a Triwizard cup that's a lamp. That's kind of cool. I'm guessing that all of this stuff is coming out because it's the 1 year anniversary
Of Swish
or
and Flick?
the-
Yes, I
Yes.
know.
You caught it. You caught it.
It's the 20th anniversary in America of Sorcerer's Stone, so I'm guessing that's why they're pushing all of this new merchandise. But it's cute. I love it. And I can't wait to go and get some more. So yes.
I want to point out that Lacey on the live chat right now said, actually, as a moderator, a lot of people discovered Swish and Flick through Unexpected Podcasts. So shout out to Ezra over
Which
here.
is true.
Whoa. I will say in the most recent episode, Lane said that as well. So we'll just we're good here. So
A little
was a
birdie
joke.
told me that Lane actually talks us up more than Ezra does. So I think that
Wow.
something be said about that.
Lane loves you guys. I love you guys too. I just
Clearly not as much as Lane though.
I love
Okay,
both
maybe
you guys.
Lane really likes you guys. He kind of wants to do a Julian Florence crossover. So
That needs to happen.
that's gonna happen soon. But yeah. All right.
All right, who's introing this amazing next part?
Which part?
That's you, Tiffany.
I don't know, guys. Last time
you
I
gotta
You did
be
so
fired
good.
up.
Yeah.
just like I don't know if I can do it like Tiffany. I'm not Tiffany, and I don't know.
You don't
what-
have to be Tiffany. You just have to do it.
I just be- I
You-
just
You
fired
just be
up.
Ezra.
Yeah.
It's like a real, should I just like a real big recap or
Yep.
what? I mean,
Yeah,
just like-
yeah.
Okay. Recap.
Yeah. I love that.
Look at the. I mean, that's gonna hurt people's ears. I'm sorry. It is what it
You,
is.
you stepped away from the mic. It's okay.
Tried. Sorry.
All right, and it still blew up that high.
Yeah.
Okay, recap. So Malfoy's a big faker about his injury from
Quote, unquote.
Buckbeak or the Bloody Chicken, and Harry and Ron are forced to help Malfoy in potions class. And he seems to know something about Sirius Black. I don't know, but who cares because Snape plays dress up, and the kids have the best defense against the dark arts class ever because Remus is a boss.
He is a boss.
So I'm reading what I wrote. And I'm thinking I shouldn't say what I wrote.
Yeah,
All
baby.
right. So Lupin is the new favorite,
Yeah.
while Snape is a little upset about it. Lavender's Rabbit meets a foxy ending. Everyone goes to Hogsmeade, except for Harry. And he gets closer to Lupin. While everyone's away, the wolves will play. Halloween feast goes off without a hitch for once. And it ends with the fat lady in tatters. Black is back.
Dun dun dun.
Wow, that's good.
Mic drop.
Black is back.
Black is the new black.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Sirius is the new black.
I love that.
Wonder if that's what they said when he was born.
Sirius is the new black.
It was funny, and then it just got funnier the more it set in. Oh god.
Oh boy. Okay. So, is this where I come in? This is where I start? Do
Yeah.
I say some
Your
stuff
color's
here?
purple.
Is this? I just kind of. Oh, thank you.
That was so loud, I
Actually,
hurt my own ear.
I'm really gonna need you here in a little bit because I've got some numbers and colors that I'm gonna.
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
Awesome.
I'm ready.
So, here, this chapter starts off, and we're kind of talking about, Katie's favorite, Lupin. Okay, who I just full disclosure, I love Lupin. He's one of my favorites.
You don't
You're
love him
better.
enough to keep Prisoner of Azkaban with
Yeah.
you on
No,
an
I just
island
like
for the rest
him
of your
later
life.
on in the other stories.
Oh, you like him when he's
know?
about to leave his wife? You wouldn't leave that book
Are you
out?
kidding me? No, I just. Is this all based around one character for you guys? Yes, it is.
This book,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
But okay, so he's the coolest, right?
He goes back in
and-
time.
Yeah, right. What?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner, okay.
You go back in time.
You go back in time. Yeah.
Spoiler, hello.
Yeah, really. Spoiler, big time.
I'm not there yet.
Everybody knows their spoilers.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, he also dies, so...
Well, I mean, here, big spoiler alert.
Wah,
Bringing it down.
Lupin happens to be, cool like me.
Oh.
So that's kind of why I'm. He reminds me a lot of myself. All right. So
Who said you were cool?
I did. That's
Doesn't count.
It. That's about it. No, actually, in all seriousness, I mean, I don't think I'm cool, but but Lupin is cool, and everyone's talking about him being super cool, right? The one connection I did make to him as a teacher, though,
Is he cool?
he's cool. I said that, didn't I?
Yeah, like 50 times.
Okay, I'll say it again. He's cool. But the connection that
I personally
made,
think he's hot.
Oh,
Sorry, go on.
Again.
wow. Okay.
All right, connection. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I think he's. I was gonna say I think he's hot too, but yeah,
He's sexy.
he is actually. So, but he wears these like they talk about his robes, being patched and frayed, these frayed patched robes or whatever. And honestly, my kids, always kind of make fun of me for when at school, just for wearing like whatever. I just kind of pull it out, and it's not always the best, So I don't really fit into the district in which I teach, and so I'm always kind of like, I kind of like connected with Lupin. I'm like, okay, and I wear a lot of flannel, and so I kind of thought, Katie, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Is he the type of, would he wear flannel on the weekend? Is that his thing, or is he, classier than that? I don't know.
She prefers him shirtless.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I do picture him like a button down, but I could see him going classic flannel.
You could?
I
Okay.
could. I feel more classic, like just
Okay.
button down shirt. But
I just kind of wondered.
I see him dressing down.
He just feels like like he could be out, doing some work out in the back, with his flannel on.
Yes.
Or
off.
Well, it starts on and then it's off, type of thing. But anyways, no, I just kind of neat. Everyone's really enjoying, Lupin, and then so the it goes over the lessons that the things that he's been teaching them, and defense against the dark arts, and two things I pulled: red caps. You guys know what red caps are?
No. You're going to
Thank
tell
you,
us
red
that.
caps. So I thought this was neat, because they just say it really quick. The red caps and the kappas or whatever, and they're these the red caps are these nasty little like goblin creatures that lurk everywhere where there's like bloodshed in the dungeons and castles, and what's it say here? The potholes of deserted battlefields. So, oh my gosh, why do my notes get hacked? all the time. All the time. Sorry, guys. As I'm reading here, it says Ezra wishes he was as cool as Sarah.
Right in the middle of a sentence.
So, anyways, really derailed me there. See, each week I'm trying to get like better and better and get my confidence, and Sarah just keeps coming in and derailing me. Anyways, so but I thought it was kind of neat. They're kind of like hanging around like different violent areas, and there's these nasty little goblin-like creatures.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Sounds terrible. Yeah. So, did they ever come up anywhere else though that you know of?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think they do. I was trying to look on like the wiki and things to see if they came up in other places, but I'm not really so sure that they.
Do you guys have an opinion? You're very quiet.
On the red
I'm
caps.
sorry.
Sorry, the live stream went down, so I was focusing on fixing it.
Oh,
but
you're
we're
fine.
good.
You're fine. But I was just thinking. Okay, so Sarah, the red in the. I know we're not supposed to be talking about Newt Scamander and things, but in the
Why
new.
not?
You
Are we
can
allowed
talk
to?
about Newt
Okay.
Scamander.
All right. Good.
Newt Scamander.
I didn't know if it was like something.
Scamander.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I went to go push my glasses up, and they are not on my face.
They're not there. But would in the battle, like with the fighting that goes on, we could see a red cap. That could be
Yeah,
something that
that's
comes
true.
back up later, and how to deal with them and
Yeah.
stuff would be kind of interesting. I was
Yeah.
just think of these little nuggets that are in the book that she might pull and use later on, in the
always.
stories. So and then like
she's good at
Kappa's.
that.
She did
Yeah.
that with Grindylows. Like we learn
yeah.
about them with
Okay.
Lupin,
Oh, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they come back in the Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like the way that
The
Hermione
Grindylows.
Emma Watson says it in the movie, like the way she's like Grindylows. I don't know. She says it in a cool way in the movie. I'm sorry.
You're so right.
Wow.
She does.
For about
I always
5
think of
seconds there, I
Fleur.
felt way cooler than you. I'm just sorry.
Well,
Okay. Anyway.
are you gonna sleep outside tonight?
Whoa, okay. In the pool? All right. So the other thing that they had learned about how to deal with, and these are things that they're dealing with in Defense Against the Dark Arts, the Kappas, like how do you say it? Kappas?
That's
Yeah,
how
I
I
would
say
say
it. Yeah.
Kappas.
That's how I say it.
These like water-dwelling, creatures. The description's neat. They look like scaly monkeys with webbed hands, itching to strangle witting wanderers, or people that are
Waders.
waiting in their ponds.
They could be wandering and
Could be
waiting.
wandering and yeah.
It
anyways,
sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it
So-
really does.
those are a couple things. Sounds like the lessons, are cool. And not to jump. Are we allowed to jump ahead in the book?
Yes.
Okay, I just didn't know. I didn't know.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
He's
to yell
just
at you.
feeling it out. He doesn't want to step on any
Yeah,
toes.
I don't want to,
The Hufflepuff's worried about other people's
always
feelings.
worried about it, But you know how in the end of the book, like they're going to have to go through like Lupin just makes things super
I haven't got there
Interactive.
yet.
Yeah.
practical and okay. And so like they might encounter some of these things in their exam, that
Yeah.
type of stuff going through.
And they do.
Like, yeah. So I thought that was kind of neat.
I think they talk about how much they actually really like the exam for defense.
Yeah, this year
Yeah.
they really like it, don't they? It's like
Yeah.
isn't it like an
It's
obstacle
very
course or
Yeah.
something?
practical, and they
Yeah.
see all of these creatures they talk about.
Yeah. So
And I like that he kind of has a theme for his teaching. So, obviously we don't know what he was teaching first years or second years or fourth, fifth,
Yeah,
sixth, or seventh.
right.
But I like that third year, he is just teaching them all dark creatures.
yeah.
Because I
Well-
got confused for a little, and I was like, why is he teaching them all these creatures? Like, shouldn't that be Hagrid's job with care of magical creatures? But they're not learning to care for these creatures. They're learning to defend themselves against these creatures. So I like that he takes a whole year to just talk about defense with magical creatures.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just love him.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Cooler than Ezra and Sarah.
Wow.
Combined.
Okay, let's move on a little bit here, though. So, potions class continues to suck. Unfortunately, and Snape's a little bent out of shape about how the boggart lesson, had been. I guess it had been it's well received by the rest of the school, but not necessarily by Snape. And I kind of put in here, Snape he continued, like the bullying with Neville continues to get worse because of that lesson. And my question to you guys is, do you think Neville, like after that happened, like, yeah, so he feels empowered once he goes up against the boggart, but then look at the effects that had on him in that class. Is that worse for Neville, and how did Neville kind of like regret maybe that happening?
I think he did.
I think Lupin probably potentially regrets that he had Neville do that as well.
But he didn't know that Neville's Boggart was going to take the shape of Snape.
Yeah.
Now, making him wear his grandmother's clothes is a whole separate issue.
Right.
I bet that he feels guilty, maybe not so much regret.
He takes on a lot of guilt for a lot of things. So
yes, and then I think that Neville probably was like, had I not done all of those things, he's like, I probably wouldn't be getting as much bullying.
And yet, I
from
feel
him.
like Neville would know that he like excels better in that class under a better teacher. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of give and take. It's like 50-50.
like in potions class though.
Oh yeah.
Like I think he just feels like,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know.
I hear you. Well, I just kind of wondered because to me, I kind of thought, it just sucks because the bullying just gets more, and it was already bad to begin with, So now divination, my favorite class. All right, that seems to be a little more emotional. It's like a brief little mention, but you can imagine that he's every time Harry goes up there, he talks about Trelawney like tearing up.
predicting his death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not going well.
I mean, she's not wrong because he dies, and then he's gonna die again because he's human.
I think that this also is one of those situations where Trelawney is predicting something that's inevitable. So is it really a prediction?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like I can predict right now you're gonna die, and guess what? One day you are. Like unfortunately, everybody
dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a piece of work.
Are you guys sure about that? Like,
Well, and like again, like I've said with the whole cup thing, you know that Neville is a nervous person,
Right,
and so telling
right.
him be careful with that glass, that china, you're gonna break it. He's gonna break it. Like you're putting that thought into his head, and it's gonna happen. Like when you tell a kid you're a failure, you're a failure, you're a failure. They go and try to do something and they fail, and they're like, yeah, they were right. I'm a failure. You know what I mean? You're putting that thought into their head.
see, I don't think anybody really dies. I think, the body will decay, but the soul
spirit
yeah,
lingers on.
So I don't know where you guys are
Oh my
getting your
God.
information from, but
We have Aragog right there.
oh
He's
god,
dead
she's
too.
dead on the wall. A lot of spiders down here.
Yeah, we're in the OG cave, guys.
Yeah,
Feels good.
this is crazy.
I miss this place.
So do I.
I mean, I record down here all the time, so.
A little insider secret here. Back in that corner in a reclining chair for the first 3 episodes, Ez was actually back there snoozing away.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was a
While
picture somewhere. I don't know if it was saved, but yeah.
Good times.
Good
Sorry,
times.
Good times. Okay.
He has
Anyways,
a lot of good memories sleeping
great
in the chair.
memories. Getting it. All right. So
we were so riveting, he fell asleep.
you guys had me up all night though. It was crazy times.
No, you came up in the morning.
Whatever.
You left your house at 6 o'clock to get here at 8.
That's right. Good call.
And then
But I was
napped.
up the night before. Okay. Anyways, so speaking of divination, the Grimms got everyone on edge except for maybe Lavender and Pravarti. Right? They're up in her tower, having a good time.
They're all about divination.
Yeah, they really like
Yeah.
it, don't they? It says I like it, the wording, right? Haunting Trelawney's tower, up there, kind of like all the time. So
Lav.
now our favorite thing, introducing flobberworms.
Oh, flobber
Yep.
worms.
Doesn't he like? Don't they take care of those things like the rest of this book type of?
Yes.
Yeah,
thing?
because he got
He's scared.
because Malfoy
Yeah.
was so mean.
He's
Gosh.
scared to teach them anything else, which is so sad because he clearly, I mean, I know that they don't always like Hagrid's class, like ever, really, even going forward from this, but Hagrid really could be a good teacher. He has potential to be a really good teacher. It's just his confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because like the thing with him, he's very passionate about what he's teaching.
Yes.
So like if he had the confidence, he would excel in it because he loves those creatures like more than probably
Anything.
humans and stuff. And you see that sometimes he doesn't always make the best choices with them. But
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, it gets a little boring. Is what it is. Now, some exciting stuff. Okay.
what?
Exciting. Yes. Quidditch. We start to talk about Quidditch, and we're getting ready for it. Harry's kind of excited. Classes are what they are. So, go team here. The Gryffindor Quidditch team. I just kind of thought I would remind everyone, in case you forgot, that there are 7 players on the team. There are 3 chasers, 2 beaters, 1 keeper, and 1 seeker. Okay, just throwing that out there. And then to continue, let's go over that excellent roster. We've got 3 superb chasers. Alicia Spinnet. Is that right? Is it Alicia
Yeah.
or
I think
Alicia?
it's Alicia.
Alicia Spinnet. Okay. Angelina Johnson and Katie Bell. 2 unbeatable beaters. Fred and George Weasley. 1 special seeker, Harry Potter. and one extremely attractive keeper, Oliver Wood. So
He's a keeper, that one.
He's a keeper, you know. I mean, you guys are always talking about Lupin being super attractive. I thought we'd give a little shout out to our friend Oliver Wood there.
That's fine.
You know?
Oliver's pretty cute. We've met him.
We have.
Yeah, he signed a quaffle, didn't
He
he?
signed my
Quaffle.
quaffle before it was mine. I
Goodness.
had not bought it yet.
So the question I had is this the year where Gryffindor will finally raise that
Do you want me to answer that for you?
that cup? No, I don't want you to answer it because we're going to get there, okay? I know the answer. All right. Now, side note, as we transition between Quidditch and the Hogsmeade announcement, because then I know you guys are going to jump into the Hogsmeade stuff, but the special little bit for me this week is Professor McGonagall. And I was earlier, when I was doing my notes and stuff, yes.
I don't know who that is.
Well, in case you didn't know, she's...
Is that the same person as McGee? Are they a relative?
I think they're related, aren't
Are
they?
they sisters?
I think they're closely related. Might even be the same person. But she's my favorite professor, though. Favorite character, I said that earlier. And I actually had a cat named Professor McGonagall. And it wasn't just McGonagall, it was Professor McGonagall.
That's
We have a
amazing.
cat named Minerva McGonagall.
Do you really?
We call her Minnie.
Yeah, Minnie.
I didn't know that. How did
They
I know
don't
that?
talk about her very much.
She's not the nicest cat.
I
She
better get a
actually-
T-shirt with her face on it.
She actually kind of reminds me of McGee. A little stern, not very lovable, but if she wants attention and affection, she'll come and seek it.
Okay.
know?
Yeah. So, anyways, I probably shouldn't share the sad stuff there, but I had a cat. I'll put it like that.
I'll say one thing.
Uh-huh.
Pour one out for poor cat Professor McGonagall.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you. I
that's really
appreciate
sad.
Oh my God, what?
that. I know. I don't know if I should read it on the podcast.
This is what he was telling us.
So
being a
in all
Debbie.
hold on. I will say this because I do care about my pets and my animals and things. And in all seriousness, this was in high school. Maybe it might have been my first year of college. And I came back, because mom and dad were, away, and I had to come back and feed Professor McGonagall. And we had another cat, Sparky, and we had Sparky, like a dog name, right? Sparky and Gray. We just had a cat
Greg?
called Gray. No, Gray. Just
Gray?
Gray.
I thought it was Greg, and I was like, that's such a strange name for a cat.
No, just
This is my cat,
just
Greg.
Gray.
You should have named him
Someone
Big
else
Gary.
gave us Gray, so it was kind of. I feel embarrassed to even say that, but I had to come back to take care of the cats, and we're pulling out. Like my buddy Thomas and I go in, and we're feeding my cat. Professor McGonagall was so old. Was like 15 some odd year. Some crazy like super long going on. That was maybe longer than that. I don't even know. Like long.
I don't want that
Old.
to be old because Teddy's 9.
Oh.
Let's not talk about
Sorry. I'm sorry. But just like
If
anyway.
it makes you feel better, you don't have a garage to,
So unfortunately, I actually think she couldn't see anymore. She couldn't hear anymore and things. And so I honestly think she might have just saw the writing on the wall and decided to end. I don't. She was killed, and it was sad. But anyways, she was my cat. I love my cat. But it was just kind of like I was looking at Professor McGonagall stuff, and I shared with Sarah that my cat had died, and the way in which my cat died is pretty ridiculous. So, anyways,
Sad.
she's smiling down on us because
but
we're
guys, I
talking about
kind
her
of
on the
think
podcast.
I kind of think my cat you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I was sitting with my buddy Tom, and I remember like being in my driveway, and I just kind of like choked up a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, like I had seen her do this before, and it's almost like she wanted to go, like she just was like she was like it was hard for her to walk and things and stuff. So she got killed in my driveway. So, but anyways. That's all there is to it. We're not going to mention anything else about the cat because I don't want to cry on the podcast, okay? But now, that led me into some stuff about McGonagall because Ron is telling Harry to go ask McGonagall for permission to go to Hogsmeade, right? Did you guys know on Pottermore there's a whole bunch of stuff about Professor McGonagall?
I learned some things from Ezra because he
This
was
is
reading about her.
wild, okay? Just that I learned today about, and I don't, you can go read it for yourselves. Listeners, whoever.
We're going to do Felix Files on her.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Eventually, yeah.
So, she was married at one point.
I didn't
you
know she was actually married. I knew she was
Yeah.
engaged.
Yeah, and just her story and the way in which, like, her closeness with Albus Dumbledore, her growing up, her mother hiding the fact that she was a witch from, her father for all those years, who was like a minister and all this stuff, and it just was kind of mind-boggling. And then she herself falls in love with a muggle like her mother, but then he proposes to her in the field, and she's all like, yes. And then she goes home and thinks about her mother locking her wand underneath her bed. And she's like, I don't want that to be me. And so instead she locked the letters from the Muggle boy under her bed. And it just kind of made me go like, oh my gosh, like it just, I don't know. And she really couldn't get past that love that she had until he died. And then someone who, when she got her job at the, Ministry of Magic, her old boss there is who she ends up falling in love with, and he courts her, and they get married. You just have to go read the whole article on.
It's really interesting.
It's so good. It just blew my mind today when I was reading it. So
Yeah, I want her to do that with every character.
I
ever.
know.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much backstory, and I just could not believe it. And then her relationship with Albus Dumbledore was like she shared a moment with him about like he finds her crying at one point because of the loss of her, her first love, I guess, back in the day. And then he shares stuff with her. And it was just, I don't know, it was great. So I stumbled across that today, and I kind of wanted to share it with everybody. Because she has these moments, right here, where when Harry comes and he asks, I know someone else is about to do this, where the permission, where we're talking about,
He's taking my part.
No, I'm not. I'm done. I'm done with that. But, like, that part is emotional. Like, I actually think it's one of those, like, good moments for McGonagall where she, like, you kind of get to see through the facade that she has of, like, stern teacher type of thing. So,
I agree.
But anyways, yeah. So Ron's just encouraging Harry to ask McGonagall for her permission to visit Hogsmeade.
Yes. So, but that's actually the next day. So we're going to back it up a little bit.
Good.
At the end of that long day of classes, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are sitting in the common room. And Ron says that Scabbers is in his bag. And then all of a sudden, there's this scrambling with Crookshanks and Scabbers. Crookshanks jumps at the bag, starts clawing at it like his life depends on it. And the rat escapes and then runs underneath this like set of drawers. It says he streaked through 20 pairs of legs and beneath a set of drawers. Ron remarks that Scabbers is skin and bones. Why is he skin and bones? So Ron is claiming that it's because of Crookshanks. He's being bullied by Crookshanks. He can't relax. He can't
handle the
eat.
stress.
He can't handle all the stress from Crookshanks always being after him. In reality, though, we know it's because of Sirius being out of Azkaban. So Peter is very anxious because he knows that Sirius is not after Harry. Sirius is after him. Because,
he's
He's the only one that knows the truth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's skin and bones, and I just wanted to point that out. It's not because of Crookshanks. Hermione defends Crookshanks here, though. She goes,
I bet you also having a cat come after you is probably not.
It's
not going to help the issue.
It is scary, yeah. Hermione defends him, though, and she says, all cats chase rats. But why is this not true in this instance is, like, the question that I wanted to pose. Because, like, it's not just a cat and a rat, right? Because Crookshanks... so there's some interesting information on Crookshanks on the Wikia. We know that Crookshanks is incredibly intelligent. Like I said before, Ron said that he said Scabbers was in his bag. And immediately after he said that is when Crookshanks attacked it. So is Crookshanks really that smart?
I think she is. It's a he. I think he is.
I think he is too.
Well, not to jump way to the end, but at what point doesn't Black influence Crookshanks? Is that
Well, they can
happen?
talk to each other.
They
Yeah.
become friends
Yeah.
because
Okay,
as an animagus, they
Yeah.
can communicate to each other.
So is that already happening though? At that point, is Crookshanks?
I would say yes,
following orders
because
from-
we know later on in this chapter, Sirius does get into the castle, and we find out that Crookshanks helped him do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say yes. At this
this
point,
point-
they're communicating.
Yeah. So when did that first start? Sorry, you can answer that later. Never mind.
No, it's okay. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if this is just a movieism, but there is a point when all of the kids are in the Great Hall and they're looking at a paper, and somebody says that he was spotted in
This is.
not Hogsmeade, but a city close by, and Hermione goes, "That's not far from here."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I would guess that it's going to be around there because he
Okay.
makes it to Hogwarts, but he stays in the forest.
Okay. Okay.
And then meets Crookshanks and is able to communicate to him.
Huh.
So Crookshanks is half Kneasel. I don't know if anybody doesn't know that, but it is evidenced by his lion-like appearance, his ability to solve problems on his own without aid or teaching, and his clear dislike of and ability at recognizing untrustworthy people, even if they're transfigured. So Crookshanks, because he's half Kneasel, he can tell that Scabbers is an animagus, and he knows he's untrustworthy. Plus the fact that sneakoscope up in the dorm has been going off constantly since they got to school.
Yeah.
And Ron attributes that to it just being busted and broken and cheap. But in reality, it's working because Scabbers is living in the dorm room.
Well,
so it's going off because of Scabbers.
It's been going off. It went off in Egypt. I almost said
train.
New York.
Yeah,
and in the
Egypt.
train.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, every time it's close to Scabbers,
Yeah,
it's
the
going
gross
off.
dude.
Yeah, agreed. So Crookshanks was purchased from the Magical Menagerie, as we saw it earlier in the book, in 1993 by Hermione. The witch from whom she had purchased him stated that he'd been in the shop for a long time and nobody wanted him, which is sad. And
Hermione did.
Hermione wanted
Herm
him.
wanted him.
Yep.
Herm. And then they also have a page on Kneasels on the Wikia. So it says Kneasels can interbreed with normal cats and generally have up to 8 kittens in every litter.
Not 7?
That's a lot. It's weird that she decided 8 and
Yeah.
not 7 there, yeah. Kneasel owners are required to have a license to own the animals. I believe that's if they're
Full Kneasel.
full Kneasels, not if it's a half Kneasel. Some wizards and witches make a living by breeding Kneasels or part Kneasels. Arabella Fig makes her living in this manner, which would explain why she has so many cats.
Didn't
Wow.
realize that.
that's cool.
I want to see where they pulled that from. Let me see one. Oh, the Squibs FAQ section on jkrowling.com.
Shout out to Squibs.
Sweet. Kneasel whiskers can be found in wand cores, although
God,
they're said
that's
to make
cool.
inferior wands compared to unicorn hair, phoenix feather, and dragon heartstring. We know that because Ollivander says he only uses the best of the best in his cores. But
Okay,
Does he have
but
any
like-
kids? Like, who's going to take over his business when he,
I don't know.
needs to have a poured one out for him?
Sarah. I don't know.
So because of Kneasel's aggression towards certain individuals, meaning distrustful or suspicious people, they have a 3X classification in the Fantastic Beasts book by Newt Scamander.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's
that is
cool.
Crookshanks.
Wow.
I like
He's
Crookshanks.
pretty sweet.
He is really, I love him.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, clearly he's communicating with Sirius. He knows that Scabbers is bad, which is why he attacks him. But Ron is furious, like absolutely furious with Crookshanks, with Hermione for the fact that she's defending him, saying cats just do this. You need to get over it. So they go to bed mad at each other. And then they wake up the next morning, and Hermione's trying to be nice, and she asks how Scabbers is doing in the next day in herbology, and Ron is just kind of a jerk. I mean, he can get like that. That's just Ron. So we all expect it. It's whatever.
No, yeah. Okay.
What's wrong with Ron?
Well, jerk's just a strong word there. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a little sensitive to it.
Is he your favorite out of the trio?
Out of the trio? Yes.
Wow.
I like
Okay.
Ron a lot.
Yeah.
I love Ron,
Yeah.
but he has a temper.
Well, I mean, hold on a second here.
Oh,
If
gosh.
my pet rat was being harassed by a
But cats
cat,
just do that.
Oh my
Ez.
gosh.
do they? Because are they? With doesn't Neville have a toad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a toad, right?
Cats don't eat toads. They eat rats.
My cat was jumping all over the toads in the flower bed. Okay, so I don't know. I kind of feel like there might be something there. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I just it's.
I'm with Ron.
Here's the thing. His rat is, as you said, skin and bone. He's
Because
sick.
he's a jerk.
He's sick.
Well,
he's
he doesn't
having
know this yet.
I
He
know.
doesn't
In
know.
Ron's defense.
And Ron's just worried about him. It's everything's kind of things fall apart from him. He doesn't it's just I don't know. It's just been passed down.
I can understand it. He just
So-
always gets snippy with Hermione about things, and it's I think because
he's in
he
love.
likes her, so it's
Uh-huh.
excusable. But
I
You're
mean,
fine. He's
not.
rude. I'm just kidding. He's rude a little bit, but But
You're
just remember,
being devil's advocate.
just remember his rats.
He's the Hufflepuff. Did you know that?
Just trying to, hey, both sides.
Just trying to, hey.
So after herbology, they go to Transfiguration, and they get to see Lav crying.
Ooh.
Do we all know why she was crying?
Yeah.
Her bun died.
Yeah.
Binky the bunny is
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, it's just.
So I just wanted to read a little bit just to get, because this is talking about divination. So if you guys don't remember, Trelawney predicted that Lavender was going to deal with something
yeah, that thing that
tragic.
The
Yeah.
thing
The
you're
thing
dreading.
You dread.
you dread.
So she's crying. Parvati has her arms around her, explaining something to Seamus and Dean, who look very serious. And Hermione says, "What's the matter, Lavender?" Parvati says, "She got a letter from home this morning. It's her rabbit, Binky. He's been killed by a fox." And Lavender's, "I should have known. You know what day it is? The 16th of October. That thing you're dreading, it will happen on the 16th of October. Remember, she was right. She was right." So Lavender and Parvati are the two girls who already adore Trelawney, and they're gonna believe that this is true. Like, she really did predict this. Oh my god. And but of course Hermione is like, Are you serious? She's like, where is it? "Oh, you were dreading Binky being killed by a fox?" And then Lavender says, "Well, not necessarily by a fox, but I was obviously dreading him dying, wasn't I?" And then
Yeah.
Hermione says, "Was Binky an old rabbit?" "No, he was only a baby." "But then why would you dread him dying?" Hermione asked. Well, look at it logically," Hermione said, turning to the rest of the group. "I mean, Binky didn't even die today, did he, Lavender? Lavender just got the news today." Lavender wailed loudly. "And she can't have been dreading it because it's come as a real shock." "Don't mind Hermione, Lavender," said Ron loudly. "She doesn't think other people's pets matter very much."
Oh, shade. Whew.
See, there's Ron again.
But guys, I think Trelawney. It's close. It's a. Can we not chalk that up to a pretty good?
No.
Why does she call? Why she uses the specific date, October 16th?
I think she's
You know?
grasping
I
at straws, and that's just right in the middle of the
Guys,
month.
I
think it's a coincidence.
There's more to Trelawney.
As
than-
I would call it, a quinky dink.
I was
Yeah.
going to say that.
I'm a
That's
fan of
little
Trelawney. Just so we know. Just so.
All right,
you
the
know.
door's that way.
Okay.
Bye.
We'll see you guys.
So after the transfiguration lesson, McG wants to talk about Hogsmeade. So real life talk here. Why does Harry think that McGonagall would sign his permission form?
I think he's just hoping.
Yes, just hopeful.
Yeah.
Just that's literally
Like, she's
it.
such a stickler for the rules. She's always so stern. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but that's not something she of all people would do.
I think he was like, I'm just going to have to ask anyways. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
he's like, I'm Harry James Potter and everything happens for me, so I'm going to ask and she's going to say yes.
Holy smokes.
This is true. This is true.
I can't even see because all the shade that was just cast. My gosh. Real quick, just quick disclaimer, guys. We are recording on Friday the 13th.
We are.
So, and there's only half an hour left. Yeah, so I'm a little worried, and just everybody stick together here in case something happens. All right,
Okay.
All right.
continue.
And then I just wanted to point out Neville's grandma having absolutely no faith in him again here. She sends his permission form straight to McGonagall.
I don't think that's not her. I don't think that's her not having any faith. It's just him being Neville and forgetting his permission slip at home and her sending it in.
But how funny.
But McGonagall says, "Oh, don't worry, Neville. Your grandma sent yours straight to me."
I don't think she said straight to me, did she?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of Neville's grandma.
I mean, I'm not either, but
Yeah, your grandma sent yours to me directly, Longbottom, said Professor McGonagall. She seemed to think it was safer. Well, that's all. You may leave. Yeah.
Rude.
I think you're lying.
I think I just read it right out of the book. JK might be lying to us there. I don't know. How dare I say something like that?
I also wanted to point out, lastly, that I think that McGonagall is probably really glad Harry didn't get his permission form signed. Because
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's dangerous for him to go there. And it would have been much harder for her to come up with an excuse as to why he couldn't go than for him to just have an unsigned permission form.
Right.
Yeah. Question, real quick. Just because I'm blanking on this. Who got Harry his Nimbus 2000?
We
don't know.
We don't really
Sure.
know. We think maybe McGonagall did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, how could she have just gone into Harry's vault and taken the money? So, like, I feel like she probably did it because
Wink,
she's
wink,
like,
yeah.
I want a good seeker and I want him to have the best broom on my... Because she's a huge Quidditch fan.
Just wanted to remind everybody that I think that might be what happened.
She's cool.
She is cool. She's got a cool side to her. So maybe if Harry thought that too,
I don't think
that might
anyone at
explain
this
why-
table disagrees with you. We all like McG.
I was
No, I
just
know.
saying, I find it hard to believe that she ever would have signed it for him.
Oh, yeah, no.
If honestly,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I was
yeah.
going to
But-
ask a professor...
But from Harry's
I mean,
point of view,
for Harry, I would have gone to Dumbledore.
Too bad Lockhart's not a teacher, and you could have just
He
asked for a
totally
signature.
would have signed it.
My question, though, or not my question, but I guess it is a question. Sorry, that if this was not this year and like he wasn't a threat, they wouldn't have cared. I don't think.
that's my thing with
I agree.
with McGonagall. Like he kind of
This was just, it was set up perfectly
Yeah.
for him to not be able to go.
And like Katie said, if it was a different year, there wasn't a threat like Sirius Black out there looking for Harry. Had he been like, I'm Harry James Potter, you want to sign that for me, babe? And then like they would have whoop doop doop doop, and he would have gone. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
all I got.
You okay?
All right. So Harry wakes up on Halloween morning feeling thoroughly depressed,
Yeah, I would too.
but was trying to act normally. So Ron and Hermione are trying to cheer him up, saying they're going to bring loads of sweets back from Honeydukes, but like, really? Guys, is that even the same thing?
No.
I mean,
No,
it's
it's
better
not.
than nothing.
Yeah, I know, but
That's like when you guys say you're going to go down to, Orlando. Don't worry, Ez, we'll bring you back something. First of all, you never do. Second of all, it's not the same. Okay.
They bring us stuff back and then forget to bring
yeah,
it to us.
that's totally true.
Okay.
So after Ron and Herm leave, Harry tries to go back to the common room, but he's bombarded by good old Colin Creepy. And he quickly makes up a story. He's like, oh, I got to go to the library and get some work done. Cue the fat lady, one of my favorites. She's like, what was the point of waking me up?
Yeah. Poor
So Filch stops Harry in the hall and asks where he's going. And Harry's just like, nothing, because he really isn't doing anything. And I just wanted to read Filch because I feel like Tiffany would want me to.
Yeah.
Nothing, spat Filch, his jowls quivering unpleasantly. A likely story, sneaking around on your own. Why aren't you in Hogsmeade buying stink pellets and belch powder and whizzing worms like the rest of your nasty little friends? He's just so mean. But Harry isn't affected. He just kind of like shrugs, and Filch is like, go back to your common room, but he doesn't listen.
Nope, can't do that.
I mean, like, why does he have to go back to his common room?
Because Filch is Filch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask a quick question? Because the title of this is The Flight of the Fat Lady, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do all the other portraits sleep too? Is there like a sleep time? Like it's time to just like I'm sorry, that
Nighttime.
just like
They probably do what they want.
yeah. Okay, I just kind of wonder.
mean,
They
all
got
They got no
rules.
responsibilities unless they are in front of a common room, I guess, and they have to at least take the
and that's a
password.
pretty big
You say
deal.
that she's the only one in front of a common room.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that is wow. Huh, interesting.
Are you deaf? Put the light out. And all the portraits in Dumbledore's office are sleeping like
All the
99.9%
Yeah, but I
of the
wonder
time.
if, like, because they're so old. You know how, like, old people like to sleep a lot? I wonder, because, like, what if, like,
True.
the first headmaster's like, nah, snooze for 23 out of 24 hours?
I'm essentially a cat now. So it's a good thing he didn't go back to his common room, though, because who does he run into? My boy Remus.
Sexy.
Oh, yeah. So he sees Harry walking by and he calls him into his office. We just talk about how super nice he is because he has to know that Harry can't go to
feeling sad
Hogsmeade.
right
He's probably
now.
feeling down, giving him some company so he's not bummed out. So we find out about a Grindylow. He has it in
Grindylows.
the Grindylow's. He has it in a tank in his office for a future lesson.
Future left.
Oh, Leffin. So Grindylows are water demons. They're a sickly green creature with sharp
Yeah.
little horns, long spindly fingers, which are strong but brittle. And the trick is to break their grip. Yes.
His hands remind me of salad fingers.
Nope. Stop right there. Stop right
Wait,
there.
what's salad fingers?
I'll show you later.
Oh, we'll show you, and I will not watch it.
Okay.
You won't like it.
No. So they're found throughout Britain and Ireland, much like Ezra.
Thank you.
And they have shown aggression towards humans, wizards, or muggles, but mer people have been known to domesticate them.
Interesting.
So they're pets.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say, guys, that I'm waiting on my 23andMe results, and I really hope it comes back as British, Irish, or Scottish.
Yeah, I think it will. I got a good feeling. You
Yeah?
know?
Do
Yeah.
Feel the blood?
I feel something, a connection. I've
My
always
family
felt,
thinks
you know?
it's going to come back Polish, which
We'll
I mean,
see.
I would be okay with. I don't care, but
You
I
might be
just
both. You might be all
really
of it.
want British.
I'm a little bit
If it comes
British.
back as British, I'm changing my accent.
That would be fantastic to hear.
So a little bit of etymology about the Grindylow. It comes from the Yorkshire and Lancashire legends.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah. So the name is derived from Grindle and low. So Grindle is from the word grimmed, which means fierceness, and low is like the distance above or below a base level, or in this case, the river or sea, and they're usually found there.
Oh.
The name might also come from Grendel from Beowulf. He's like the baddie in that, if anyone's read that. They're also said to grab children with their long arms and drown them if they come too close to the water's edge. So they're kind of used as like a boogeyman figure to frighten children away from pools, marshes, or ponds so they don't drown.
Wow, guys. Can I just really quick, for anyone who might be a listener, as we've said before, from an unexpected podcast,
What's that?
you totally just prompted me to remember something here. Drogo Baggins actually gets killed in a lake, and I'm wondering.
Yeah.
We never have like any
Because it's like
explanation.
a mystery.
Any explanation as to why he might die, and I'm just going to go and Swish and Flick just gave me the answer.
No, it was me.
It was Sarah. But I'm going to have to share that with Lane. The possibility
Do
that
it.
something like this
Maybe
could
it was the
exist.
Grindylow.
Yeah, Grindylow.
It's interesting that they say it's kind of been used as a boogeyman figure, and they say like a boggart in like mythological real time life is like a boogeyman as well.
That's like another name it goes by, right?
Yeah.
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 I remember you talking about that.
Cool beans, bro.
So here we see another instance of how poor Remus is, because he offers Harry some tea. He has chipped mugs and apologizes for only having tea bags, so Harry's clearly high maintenance.
Are they sipping tea together?
Yes. But Remus says, I dare say you've had enough of tea leaves. So
Yeah,
that's
he
that's spread a little bit. So McGee told him all about the prediction, but Harry says he's not worried. But he starts to think about that dog. He saw a Magnolia Crescent, and he almost tells Remus about it. But yes.
Do you think Remus would have made the connection?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I actually think he
Yeah,
would have.
he's
And
not-
I
he
think,
ain't no dummy.
yeah.
Would that have changed things?
Probably.
Yeah, I think
Because
it would have
I-
put in a totally different path.
I wonder.
Well-
So I don't remember who talks about it, but somebody says it was Snape. Sorry. Snape says that he told Dumbledore that he thinks that Remus has been helping Sirius get into the castle and all this stuff. Do you think that had Harry said this, Remus would have told Dumbledore?
Okay.
Or would he have kept it to himself?
This might get me thrown off the podcast. This might literally, I'm gonna have to leave as soon as I say this. But
Get out now.
why didn't our friend Lupin come forward with that information?
Oh,
I have
good.
the answer.
Yes,
I
good.
have the
Give-
answer.
give me the
Actually,
answer.
at the end of this book, he's actually really disgusted with himself that he like wrestles with this the whole time. Because
Yeah.
if he tells Dumbledore, a man that he super trusts, who gave him this life, honestly, because he
Yeah.
shouldn't have gone to school,
Yeah.
he would have to admit that he totally broke his trust during school because Sirius is an unregistered animagus. He would have to admit that he's running around with them as a fully fledged werewolf, and it would have been just this whole like domino effect of like
Gotcha.
lies
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
deceit. Essentially, he sees it as something
Yeah.
terrible.
So he is wrestling
Yeah.
with it at this time because
Oh, yeah.
that information to the Ministry and to Albus would be huge.
Oh, crucial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just kind of interesting, wondered about that. I don't know. All right, good. I'm glad that didn't get me thrown off the old podcast.
I got you.
Okay.
We'll accept one failure.
All right. Thanks.
So Harry's thoughts must have shown on his face because Remus asks him if anything's bothering him, and at first Harry's like, no, but then yes.
This is a really sad thought, but he was like biffs with his dad. I wonder if like his dad ever had like a similar look to Harry, being like, I should probably say something, but
Oh man. He's like, yeah. What if he's like, oh, James had that same exact look on his face. Yeah.
sorry to be
Debbie
real
Downer.
sad. Yeah.
That's cool.
So Harry first says no, but then he very boldly, and I think bravely, says actually yes. You know, why did you stop me fighting that boggart? And it's been bothering him, I think, since this happened.
Yeah.
You know, and Remus is actually surprised, and he's like, I would have thought that was obvious.
Yeah.
So he, yeah.
I don't understand why Remus thinks that that's obvious, because he's talking to a 13-year-old boy who is excited to learn defense against the dark arts. He's not going to be thinking that in depth about those things. And of course he's going to wonder why he was stopped, because I think especially because Harry didn't grow up knowing Voldemort. He didn't know anything about that. So that's not going to be his most deep-rooted fear. You know what I mean?
Does he know that he knows nothing? That
Also,
I
he didn't
think
live for all 13 years, like thinking about like that dude killed my parents and he's probably coming back.
right.
Well, no, but Lupin knew that Harry went to the Dursleys.
Yeah.
I mean, Remus lived through the first wave of Voldemort, though, so he knows what he's capable of, and that he's freaking scary. So
Well-
maybe he just expects, like, Harry's only 13. He doesn't have a family because of this guy. That has to be his biggest fear.
Well, like, and maybe he's thinking, like, yes, Lupin's greatest fear is the full moon because he doesn't like what he turns into, but maybe his second greatest fear is Voldemort. So maybe he's thinking, I'm so terrified of this guy and what he did and how he ruined my entire life, almost, that, like, I can't imagine how a 13-year-old wouldn't think similar or, like, along the same way.
I guess, yeah.
But hey,
So can I just real quick on your, because I have the book here. You know, I thought like one of the things that he says he was thinking about. He says, clearly I was wrong, said Lupin, still frowning at Harry, but I didn't think it was a good idea for Lord Voldemort to materialize in the staff room. I imagined that people would panic. And then Harry says, I did think of Voldemort first, but then I remembered those Dementors. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but I thought...
no, you're fine.
Like that's... to what your point was, Harry did think of Voldemort, and then... Could you imagine if he would have just showed up in the classroom? Even as a teacher, I was like, "That's a little much. We're going to shut this lesson down." But how would Harry, though, to your point, Megan, know that what Voldemort looked like? You know, it's like a deep
Yeah, I was just gonna say
memory.
that.
Oh,
Well,
sorry,
but, like,
sorry.
No.
Does it
fine.
matter, like, that he
But
wouldn't
what would
know?
But what would he materialize as?
I mean, he saw him in first year.
right, but he was
like,
so would he materialize as Quirrell on the back of Quirrell's
But
head?
does he remember, like, subconsciously as a 1-year-old, like, in the back of his head, like, what he looked like right before he was killed? It was like a year and a half.
Sometimes the things that scare you most are the things you don't know much about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he literally only has so much information.
That's some profound stuff.
Yeah.
I also wonder, so say he admits he did first think of Voldemort, and then he remembered the Dementors. I wonder if the boggart changes depending on what you're thinking about. So
Whatever your fear is, like at the
at that
foremost
moment
in your mind.
time, in the forefront of your
Yeah.
mind, is that what it turns into? Because like sometimes my fears might fluctuate between a snake or a spider or a shark or
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like it just depends on what I'm thinking of
Florence,
the most at that
Bud.
moment.
Yeah, I know.
Or, like, maybe you're in a situation where you're, like, in a garden and you can have a snake. You're not going
Right.
to see a shark there.
Right. So I'm not thinking of it, but if I'm by the ocean, that definitely is my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I think it could, because if you remember the Mirror of Erised, that your
Changed.
desire could change
Right.
and what you see in it. So why couldn't a boggart?
Well, I know that your desire could change. I'm sorry, as I
You're
know
fine.
that you're
No, you're
I know
fine.
that your desire could change, but I think that what I'm talking about is like literally people have many fears. So could you go up to a boggart and think snake and it turns into a snake? Could you then change what you're thinking and say shark? Would it rematerialize as a shark? You know what I mean?
Probably.
I think it depends on, like, how fearful, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to prey on, like, you might say, oh my God, sharks terrify me, but you're really more scared of the snake that's by you or something, you know?
Well, I think too, we overcome our fears too. So at some point, if it's not maybe not in the same sitting, but years down the line, you know, for Ron, let's say it's
Could
spiders,
change.
it could change later on once you grow up. You know, we're not afraid of the dark anymore, except for Sarah. But you know, it's
Dark, I
you
don't
know,
like thunderstorms in the dark.
so I don't know.
Your boggart turns
I
into
don't
a
think that
sad
I'm
rainy gray
ever-
cloud.
I literally like one time had one of those apps on my phone that gives you like white noise, and I put on like rain, and it
Thunderstorm?
started to thunder, and I got scared, so I turned it off,
That's so
and
sad.
it wasn't even real.
Oh wow.
Did you want to finish what you were saying?
I was just gonna say I'm never gonna overcome my fear of sharks. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or snakes?
I believe you're more likely to be electrocuted by a toaster than killed by a shark. So
Ooh.
I don't necessarily. I'm not necessarily scared of getting killed by one. I'm just scared of them in general.
Well,
They're
now
scary.
that my boggart is a toaster. Okay, moving on. So I thought this was important to read. So, quote, Harry, who had expected Lupin to deny that he'd done any such thing, was taken aback. So I think Remus surprises Harry often. He's not the adult he's used to encountering, which we'll see again in a
Yes.
little bit.
He
So
is. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Can I jump really quick?
Yeah.
Just one sentence. Remus is an adult that treats Harry as how's
An
am I
equal?
trying? Yeah, kind of. Like Lupin treats Harry properly. Not that other adults don't treat him properly, but like a lot, like Mrs. Weasley coddles him kind of. Like she protects him too much, I think. Or like McGonagall, she's very protective of him as well. Whereas Lupin is more so he's a 13-year-old boy, and I'm going to treat him like a 13-year-old boy, just like
Yeah.
I would treat anybody else.
Yeah.
And nobody else is like that because while there's a benefit to having a Harry Potter factor, quote, I think there's also a negative to
Oh, yeah.
having a Harry Potter factor.
well,
That
and
the other teachers do and other adults in his life do more than Lupin.
but I think with Lupin though, like he comes from a totally different perspective, so that's
Yeah.
why he's able to do that, because like he knows what it's like to be like, not an outcast, because Harry's not an outcast, but
But in a different way, though.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Oh, I was
And
going to
he's-
say Lupin's definitely an
Oh yeah,
outcast,
no, I
but-
agree. Like, but he's able to.
But Harry kind of is.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is. So like he's
Because
able
he
to
has
treat
such
him
a
to be like
burden.
he knows what it's like to be,
On the outside a little bit.
yeah. Because like realistically, like Harry has no idea that all these people like knew him and stuff.
Right. At all.
Yeah.
But I will say Lupin has a better connection and rapport with the kiddos. He doesn't baby them, but he doesn't. He just has a real knack for how he interacts with all the kids, I think, honestly. I know it's a little more personal with Harry here, but I could imagine him being the same way with Neville. After
Yeah.
the Boggart lesson and saying, hey, being real with him and just pulling him in and saying, look, just so you know, I know that you're getting, this is happening, and having, I in my head, I imagine that conversation happened with he and Neville.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
him
yeah.
saying, sorry that's still going on or whatever, but, giving him some solid advice,
I agree.
You can even feel it with the kids after their first lesson. Like they're leaving the classroom, they're chattering about it, they're actually excited about a Defense Against the Dark Arts class, they feel like they learned something, they can't wait to come back. Like, how often does that happen in their classes,
Yeah.
Well, and not to go on to Katie, I'm sorry, I keep kind of jumping in or whatever.
Do
but,
it.
Like when I was reading about McGonagall in her early years of like teaching or whatever, that passion that she had. So you kind of gauge how long have the teachers been teaching and what have they been doing? Does it become routine and things? Because in her Pottermore thing, which if you haven't read, you need to go read it. It talks about her passion and how the energy she had and the response from kids was super high and positive. And people like Hermione still are kind of like, whoa, we can learn a lot from her. She's the
Right.
best of
Right.
the best type of situation. So I don't know.
I mean, we've all had that one teacher who has been like so much different from
Yeah.
other teachers to us.
Yeah.
Touched you
Yeah.
in a different way, made you learn better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
One of them is my friend on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
College professors.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as Ezra said, so Remus did assume that the boggart was going to turn into Lord Voldemort. And I wanted to read this from the book too. Harry stared. Not only was this the last answer he'd expected, but Lupin had said Voldemort's name. The only person Harry had ever heard say the name aloud, apart from himself, was Professor Dumbledore. So instantly in Harry's mind, Harry's got to be like, this guy's different.
Yeah.
Dumbledore's the bravest guy I know.
Yeah.
And
True.
and I say Voldemort's name because I don't know. I never knew it was bad. And, Dumbledore taught me it's nothing to be afraid of. But here's this other guy.
Yeah.
He's not afraid either.
Good call.
Do you think that this is like a First Order of the Phoenix thing?
Oh yeah.
Because I can imagine James and Lily would say Voldemort's
Oh, yeah.
name.
I think the whole order did.
Because Sirius does.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Molly and Arthur were in the First Order. I think that they were just in the second one, which I would think maybe is why they still say you know who.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just an interesting connection.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Like,
Well,
I would
also,
assume Neville's parents, if they still had their minds, would
Yeah.
say Voldemort's name because.
Gosh, doesn't that fire you up a little bit? Man.
yeah. Even if Mr. and Mrs. Weasley were in the First Order, these guys were so much younger. Remus, Sirius, James, and they might have just been like, no,
Like
we're not
20
having
like
that.
20 years
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? Like, they were still in school when
They're
it was
still
coming
like
to power.
They're like the millennials, right? They're
Right.
like they're like the younger generation that's coming up. That yeah.
Well, there's roughly only like a 10-year difference between like Harry's parents and Bill Weasley.
Yeah. Which is weird,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So Harry does say he actually thought of the Dementors, and Remus says, "I'm impressed. That suggests that what you fear most of all is fear. Very wise, Harry."
You know what that reminds me of? That quote, was it FDR that said it? That says the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I think about that every time I read that book.
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
So it looks like Harry may just be about to tell Remus more about just how the Dementors affect him when Snape comes in with a goblet that's smoking faintly. Yes.
Now, you know that I don't like to do this often, but I have to question Remus here.
Bring it on.
So he says that suggests that what you fear most of all is fear. And I don't think that makes sense. So actually I came across this online. I don't remember what I was searching, but I found it a couple days ago. And it says, actually, Dementors are supposed to suck out happiness. So doesn't that mean Harry simply fears sadness and depression, not fear?
Yeah, but like, isn't fear kind of like a form of depression and sadness?
I see what you're saying, though.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know. I view, when you're saying what you fear most of all is fear, I view that very different as saying you fear sadness and depression. Like,
I see.
you fear emptiness, loneliness. That's what I think he fears. I don't think he fears fear.
I think I will agree with you, actually.
I just thought that was an interesting point. It was just like one of those websites. It's not Reddit, but it's like a website like that where it's like people
it's a
are saying
discussion.
theories. So this was shared by Amith KK. I don't know, way back in 2015, but I don't know. I just found it to be interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, that's
No, you're
that
right.
is interesting because that is a line people kind of do dwell on a little bit. That suggests that what you fear most of all is fear. Very wise, Harry, because he's having a debate between Harry himself internally, thought of Lord Voldemort first, and then he thinks of something else that he doesn't understand or that brought about a great fear or dwelled in that Dementor itself it's causing him to recall, one of his worst memories. So that's interesting that you said that. What were your thought, Katie?
I don't remember it.
That's your. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, it was a very fleeting thought.
I don't know.
I don't know, but like, that's a very quoted quote from the book.
Yeah.
And I just find it interesting.
It's
that
almost like-
it doesn't make sense to me. It's not. He doesn't fear fear.
It's almost like if you feared fear, you would fear a boggart.
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
And actually, that might honestly be what because I don't know, like if he's facing down a boggart and it's like he's wrestling with like what he might see, that he fears what is coming from that boggart.
Whew. Get a
I don't
little
know.
hot in here. It's
I
a
don't know.
little sweaty. Whew.
I don't know, but like, and you see that with Harry a lot. I think he hates being sad and empty and depressed. I mean,
Well,
who
he grew up.
doesn't hate that? But like, he's stuck in those situations where he
Right.
feels those things often,
Right.
and he feels those things at Privet Drive, and he hates going back there.
Yep.
He feels those things fifth year whenever everybody's holding things back from him, and he feels lonely, which would cause depression potentially. So I feel I don't know. I feel that Harry's fear is actually depression and loneliness.
And emptiness.
I can understand that, though.
I like that. I don't like it because it's sad, but you know what I mean.
I just think it makes more sense than saying he fears fear.
Yeah. No, you're right. Remus, what you talking about? Speak to me. Speak to me.
From beyond the grave.
Tell me telepathically.
So this line kills me every time, and I don't really know why. It just sounds so funny. He's talking to Snape. He's like, I was just showing Harry my Grindylow. I don't know why I think that's so hilarious, but I do. So Snape directs Remus to drink what he brought him in the goblet directly, and that he had a whole cauldron full if he needed more. And Harry didn't... A what? Harry didn't like the look in Snape's eye and gets this crazy urge to knock the goblet out of Remus's hands.
Mm-hmm.
So Remus says he's just been feeling off color and that this potion's the only thing that helps. Dude can tell the truth while telling a lie. Super skills.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's had a lot of years of practice.
yeah. So Harry suddenly has all these urges to warn him of Snape. He thinks Remus is gonna get poisoned. So he blurts out that Snape's very interested in the dark arts, and some people reckon he would do anything to get the job. But Remus just sort of brushes him off. He's like, I better get back to work.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I think that this right here is a perfect example of reasons why people dislike Snape because of how she's portraying him here. We view
From
everything
Harry.
from Harry's perspective. Harry hates him, so we hate him.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say shout out to Snape for making that. I was
Yes.
about to say
Right, because
shout
what
out.
really,
Yeah.
because in reality, what he's doing here is actually a very positive thing and
Yeah.
super. I mean, Lupin is super grateful to him for doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, he even says along the lines of I'm extremely lucky that he's here because there's not a lot of wizards who are up to making this potion. It's very
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
I also will say, I think it shows their relationship that Snape, and we've talked about how I think that his emotions are a little bit stunted when it comes to the Marauders because he has a lot of hurt feelings about what happened.
Yeah.
Where Remus is school was school, whatever. We're now
It's
both
in the
colleagues.
past.
Yeah, and Snape
Yeah.
not so much. But he still, granted, does a wonderful thing and makes this potion and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, super difficult potion.
Which, I mean, if nobody knows, it's Wolfsbane. So
yeah.
I wonder what it does. Why is he
I don't know.
taking
Why
it?
is he taking that? Yeah.
Oh.
Are you excited about something?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
all right.
Just want to see a wolf.
So Ron and Hermione make it back
Herm.
at dusk from Hogsmeade. And like the awesome people they are, they brought back some snacks for Harry. They dump them in his lap when they get back. Their faces pink from the cold and looking like they had the best day.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Harry, being a good friend, even though I'm sure he doesn't, not that he doesn't care how their day went, but
Does
as
he
peop-
really want to hear
I don't
the
think he really
details?
wants to hear about it. And so he's like, what was it like? Where did they go? All this stuff. And it sounds like they went everywhere. So as the dude that I was listening to read the book, he calls it Dervish and Banshees. And I was like, that's not what we
I'm
call
pretty
it.
sure that's Jim Dale. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I always said
Wizarding
bangs.
Equipment Shop, Zonko's. That's Zonko's. It's
Zonko's.
very, very accent heavy. Zonko's Joke Shop, and into the Three Broomsticks for foaming mugs of hot butterbeer. Hermione tells Harry how the post office has about 200 owls sitting on shelves, all color-coded, depending on how fast you want your letter to get there.
That's so cool.
And it's if you have the illustrated copy of Prisoner of Azkaban, they have, and I don't know what page it is on, but it's in this chapter, in this section, where they have owls at the bottom of the page. They have 2 rows, so you kind of get to see what they look like. But they're some for international travel and some for local.
I'm just picturing owls in UPS uniforms and FedEx uniforms and post office uniforms.
All right. So they mentioned fudge samples at Honeyduke's. Sorry, I said that in a very odd way.
I was like, Cornelius Fudge was sampling at Honeydew.
And they said possibly seeing Shrek at the Three Broomsticks, where they had a wonderful glass of steaming butterbeer because they think they saw a troll is what they said, not
Not an ogre.
an ogre.
They do say ogre.
Oh, do they say
Yeah.
ogre?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
I
They do.
forgot what it said. That's
We
why I
think
should have
we saw
made.
an ogre.
Yeah, that's why I said they possibly saw Shrek.
Yeah.
So my question is, what and this is a little bit of a what do we call them? I want to say Felix Files, and I don't know why.
Me too. A
Lightning
lightning
bolt.
bolt.
When Tiffany's gone, we just don't know what to do with
We
ourselves.
have no brains.
But what do you guys think Ron and Hermione talked about all day? Like,
How
was
much
it
they
you like?
love each other.
Yeah, but like, was it like an awkward first date?
I
Like,
kind of think it was.
like, you don't know what to say, and like,
Because when have they ever spent time just the two of them?
yeah,
This was probably very good for them.
just
Agreed.
the
Yeah.
two of them.
You
Okay.
and I.
I just think it would be overwhelming, right? I think they might get lost, like the intimacy that we think is going on might just be.
I don't think there's that much intimacy, but I think like, have you ever been on an awkward first date, and you don't know
Never.
what to say?
Never. No. I'm
Like,
cool.
did you guys ever have
So-
like an awkward? Well, you guys were friends first, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were friends first.
We did like
Honestly,
go
Have
to
you
the mall
dated
together.
anybody else ever?
No.
Oh.
No.
People ask us, like, I've had friends ask for, like, dating advice, and I'm like, you're asking the wrong person here. I literally have no dating advice. It just happened. I'm
Sounds
super
cliche.
lucky.
Yeah, but like literally, it was just like
It just happened,
Just
and it
happened.
just flowed.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean, but
I
maybe-
think this would be an awkward first date.
It's a
agree.
long day to just be the two of them. Like,
They
I
went to
wonder.
a lot of places.
I almost like. I wonder if Ginny was with them. She wasn't allowed to go. Why didn't Harry hang out with her?
Maybe
Oh,
he
she's
just
a-
isn't a fan of her yet.
Yeah.
It's
He's
just
too
an
busy
interesting.
chit chatting with Remus.
Just an interesting thing to think about. Like, I just wonder, like, what
What were they up
talked
to?
about. Yeah.
I feel almost like partially though.
Were they
like
snogging?
They went to so many. They went to so many places. No, that doesn't happen until Deathly Hallows, and I missed it. They went to so many places. They could have just been really overwhelmed by their surroundings and honestly not even talked that much.
I bet it helped that they were seeing all these new things. Like they both
Yeah.
could
Yeah,
experience
but like, how
these
do you?
things.
How do you? I don't know. I'm a very talkative person, so I don't know how they wouldn't have a conversation. Like, you had a
Yeah.
like. Did you sit at lunch and like just sit over your fish and chips, not speaking to each other?
So this butterbeer, pretty good.
I was gonna say, I think the movies do a really good job, and this isn't the first time that they go. Well, I think that the movies kind of combine it. I can't remember correctly, but Harry, they do combine it. Yeah. Okay. So technically, this doesn't happen here, but they meet. Harry meets them out there with the Marauders map, but you can kind of see their like awkward conversation when they're like going to the Shrieking Shack. Hermione's
Oh,
like
yeah.
trying to start a conversation, and Ron is like not helping the situation, just kind of one-word answers. And I think
You're
that
right.
I think that's pretty accurate, probably,
Yeah.
to how it went.
Yeah. So there's some information on the more of Potter. So we know that Hogsmeade is the only entirely non-Muggle settlement in Britain. It's
So
in
cool.
Scotland specifically. So residents
Scotland.
are owners. Owners of various businesses include Aberforth Dumbledore, Madame Rosemerta, Madame Puttyfoot. Is that what I'm saying right?
Puttyfoot.
Puttyfoot. And shops including Honeyduke's Sweet Shops and Zonko's Joke Shop. And some magical properties. Both Honeyduke's and the Hogshead pub have secret passages into the grounds of Hogwarts, which is pretty cool. And they also have some cool pictures. So like artistic drawings of inside of Honeyduke's, which is the famous sweet shop that contains shelves upon shelves of exciting and delicious sweets. So you
Yeah, that
will
artwork's
post
really
that.
cool.
I like that the colors are very bright,
Yes.
vibrant, and then like the background is just like a gray. Not gray. I can't see colors. It's brown. So we'll post it on our Facebook, guys, so you guys can see it. And then there's another picture that's the three broomsticks, and that's Hogsmeade's popular pub, staffed by Madame Rosemerta.
I remember when
Ron
it was
has-
just one broomstick.
Ron has a crush on her. But I like that it's set. The picture is set in like Christmas time, so there's snow everywhere.
Yes,
So it's like it's a cute picture.
it's beautiful.
It reminds me of Christmas times. And there's also like a little bit of behind the scenes on Hogsmeade. And so described by J.K. Rowling in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, it looks like a Christmas card. So dressing the set for Hogsmeade required a festive flair and a whole lot of fake snow, which I think is cool. So we'll post that so you can read some, I said read some images, read some more about it and see some pictures of how it came to be on the movie. In the movie.
Side note, I hate that there's fake snow in Hogsmeade at Universal Orlando.
Like on the buildings and stuff.
Yes.
I like it.
I like it when there's Christmas decorations everywhere, but I don't so much like it in July.
my
Do you remember when they were talking
I
about...
wish it was like that's my
It was
literally
supposed to snow.
I
Yes.
I say this all the time, but December is my favorite month, and from like the 1st to the 24th, that's like I love that.
That's your
time.
jam?
They apparently have snow machines installed, but
What?
they are like the idea they have spaces for them, but then they realized that running them constantly like that would not be a good idea, so they didn't go through with that idea. But the idea of Hogsmeade at Orlando was that it was supposed to snow all the time.
I think it's a phenomenal
That'd
idea.
been cool.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Hermione asks Harry what he did that day. Any schoolwork done? And so he tells him about his time with Lupin and how he drank the stuff that Snape gave him. OMG. Ron is gobsmacked that Lupin actually drank it. And so then Hermione's like, bros, feast's about to start in 5 minutes. So we got to go down there. So they head to the Great Hall, and she logically says that Snape probably wouldn't try and poison Lupin in front of Harry. You know, too many witnesses. So the Great Hall is decorated with hundreds and hundreds of pumpkins filled with candles, a colony of live bats, which, you know how like it's a gaggle of geese? It's a colony of bats. I looked it
Ooh.
up. Yeah.
Very nice.
And flaming orange streamers that almost looked like brilliant water snakes. So I can just imagine those like being in the sky. Not the sky, but like the ceiling-ish, you know? So the food was delicious because duh. And even Ron and Hermione,
Thanks,
who were
house elf.
so stuffed from Hogsmeade and all of the stuff they ate, both went for seconds.
Good for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Lupin looked the most cheerful he ever had, and Harry noticed that Snape kept glancing at Lupin a little bit more than a normal person should. Does he have a
Concerned.
crush on him?
Concerned about him. You know?
But was Harry just imagining that he kept looking? Who knows? So the feast ends with a spooky entertainment from the Hogwarts ghosts. Nearly Headless Nick did a reenactment of his own botched beheading, which I'm glad that he's, finally coming to terms with it after all hundreds and hundreds of years. And so Harry had a wonderful evening and wouldn't even let Malfoy, who was being a word that I'm not allowed to say on the podcast, by telling Potter the Dementors sent their love to him. So he was like, I'm not going to let that guy ruin my night because Halloween's cool and I just had this great feast. Awesome. So the Golden Trio make their way back to the common room, but they're stopped in their tracks because there's people outside and it's all backed up in the corridor. And then Percy's like, dudes, pushes his way through to the front because he's head boy,
I'm head boy.
and he wants to see what all the ruckus is about. And then from when he gets up there, a whole silence fell over the crowd from the front all the way to the back. And so a chill seemed to spread down the corridor. And he goes, somebody get Professor Dumbledore. And then he arrives on scene. The students part to make way for him to make it to the entrance to see the portrait. And so finally, Ron, Hermione, and Harry were able to see what happened. And in the book, it says the fat lady had vanished from her portrait, which had been slashed so viciously that strips of canvas littered the floor. Great chunks of it had been torn away completely. It's crazy. So Dumbledore turned around with a somber look in his eyes to see Lupin and McGee hastily making their way to him. McGee tells Filch to search every painting until they find the fat lady. So then Peeves shows up.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and tries to be like, guys, you're going to be lucky to find her. And then Dumbledore asks him, and he won't taunt Dumbledore, like he doesn't dare. And so he changes his voice a bit to tell him that she's ashamed and a horrible mess and doesn't want to be seen. But he saw her running through landscape on the 4th floor, crying something dreadful. So then Dumbledore asks him if she told him who did it, and we are in luck. She does indeed spill the beans. And then Peeves says he got very angry when she wouldn't let him in. You see, nasty temper he's got, that Sirius Black. Dun-dun-dun! Yes.
I was just going to say, the fat lady's portrait got totally destroyed, right?
Yep.
Do you think that he was trying to literally cut his way into the common room because she wouldn't let him in? Like, I know that it's behind this portrait, so if I just like hack away at it, maybe I can get through.
Yeah.
Or scare her too,
Or maybe anger. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Or a combination of all of it. Yeah.
I mean, shout out to her for not letting him in.
Yeah.
Right.
You
I
know?
think he's kind of like a hothead. Like we've talked about in our
Yeah.
Felix files that he can be a little bit immature because I think his growth was stunted.
Yeah.
That he's just like literally, figuratively lashing out.
This is one of those moments. I say all the time that this book is like what made me fall in love with Harry Potter. This is one of those moments where you read, you're getting, like what happened. The last words are you find out who did it, and you're like, oh my
yep,
And
yep.
god.
that's when
Gotta
you
go to the next
don't
chapter.
put the book down and
Yeah.
you keep reading.
Like every time I read that chapter, I feel that feeling I had the first time. I have children, not talking about it, all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on a good note, this was the first Halloween feast that the Golden Trio got to enjoy the whole thing. Because first year, trolling the dungeons. They all went up screaming,
Yeah.
and Dumbledore was like, Malfoy, nobody cares that Malfoy or that Slytherins are in the dungeons as well. And then year 2, they were good friends and went to Nearly Headless Nick's death day party, and then they found a petrified student. So the food party was great. The rest, not so much. But another not so fun fact. The original fat lady that was played by Elizabeth Spriggs, and she passed away in 2008, so pour one out for her.
Oh, wow.
Pour one out.
Pour one
Yeah.
out.
The lady that plays her again is really funny. I don't remember her name, but I've seen her on TV on other things. She's a funny lady.
Yeah, she's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
Peeves though, man, Peeves. I always think it's neat when because we're so saturated with the movieisms as you guys say, or the movies, right? But like Jenny shows back up there and is talking for just a quick one question. I think she asked at the very end, and then Peeves is there and calls him, says, "It says, oh yes, Professor Head."
Yeah, yeah. Like I like that he immediately changes. Like he'll probably poke fun and do stuff to all of the teachers, but Dumbledore, he's like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna.
Even
mess with you.
McGonagall, he would like push her buttons,
Yeah.
But
He only respects Dumbledore and the Bloody Baron.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
the Bloody Baron scares him.
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
Any lightning
questions?
bolt round?
ooh, lightning bolt round.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I wasn't prepped for this. What's wrong with me?
Usually Sarah comes up
Let
with
me,
them all on the
let
spot.
me think. What would you hope that Ron and Hermione would bring you back from Hogsmeade?
Chocolate.
But like specifically,
Like a Honeydukes bar of chocolate. That's all I want.
just a Honeydukes
Yeah.
chocolate, not a
Gosh.
chocolate frog.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't really know enough about it.
Could they bring me back a tankard of butterbeer? Or is
Oh,
that
okay,
not
excuse me.
allowed?
Damn it.
I amend my request.
That's what I was gonna.
Butterbeer.
Yeah, God.
I would say fizzing Whizbees.
Is butterbeer alcoholic?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really young. 13 years old to be allowed to have some alcohol.
Yep.
It's great. It's great.
Cool.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm
Fizzing Whizbees.
Ice
They
mice,
make you
pepper
levitate.
imps.
Man, I don't.
Peppermint toads are good.
What
Flops
other-
realistically in the stomach.
What other
Exploding
cool
bonbons.
places do they go? Like in the
Everywhere.
Zonkos.
oh, the joke shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you want dung bombs?
No. I'm not-
I would
yeah.
want stuff from Weasley Wizard Wheezes. Get out of
Yeah.
here, Zonkos.
Yeah, really.
Do you think
I
Zonkos
would
went
want
out of
the
business?
Peruvian dark.
Peruvian
Yeah.
darkness powder? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Peruvian.
Okay, I got another question.
Yes.
All right.
What teacher would you ask to sign your permission slip?
Whoa.
Remus, because we'd be hella tight.
Yeah. Well,
And he'd be like, yeah, I'll go with you. Date night.
whoa. Holy.
Would you also be 13 years old? Because that's kind of gross.
No, I'd be my age now.
Okay, this is
Going to Hogwarts.
I would not ask a teacher because I would forge it.
Whoa.
real
Very
real
Megan
stories.
thing to say.
Didn't they consider that at one point? They were considering having it forged, but then afterwards,
yeah.
Dean or
Yeah.
something- yeah, it was,
Yeah.
So had he not asked McGonagall,
Yeah.
I think it would have
Yeah,
worked.
he screwed himself a little bit there.
He could have waited a couple days and just been like, I sent it back and they signed it. Here you go.
No.
Right.
I don't think they would have believed him.
I would have tried it.
I bet there's like some deceitful spell they could have done on it and been like,
Yeah.
nope, it's forged.
Gosh, I don't know. Like, if you think of teachers that you could really, it depends on who you're close to, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to say Hagrid, but he wouldn't do it. Had it not,
Yeah.
like if Sirius Black had not been a threat, he would have. But
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe your head of house? If you're close with them,
Who's your head of house?
Yeah.
Sprout.
theirs would be
Yeah.
Sprout.
Excuse me, Meg, this is you, Professor Snape. Can I go even though I don't have my permission?
Flitwick. Do you think I would have been able
said.
to charm Flitwick into signing a slip for me?
Ew.
Like I
Man.
said, I wouldn't have gone to my head of house. I would have signed it
Who's
myself.
is it Ben's? Is that the old
Can he
The
hold
ghost?
things?
Can
Can
he
that-
write?
Wouldn't that couldn't you
Sign
just
things?
say though, sir, I mean he just have a conversation.
He'll
he gave
breathe
you
it onto the
permission.
paper.
Yeah. Yes. There's his signature right there. Like,
Does he have to breathe his name?
Let me
Oh,
think
God.
of what else I can ask you guys. Who do you think? Do you think anybody would have signed it for Harry or not?
Not
No,
this
not
year.
that
not
year.
this year. Yeah.
Not this year.
Maybe any other year, but definitely not this one.
I think any other year, and Dumbledore would have figured out a way to allow him to go.
Oh,
But
excuse me.
this year just wasn't going to happen.
Okay. Now, would you have knocked that goblet out of not Snape's hand, Remus's hand? Would you have told him, been like, bro, Snape, evil dude, out to get everybody that breathes air?
I feel like I would have. Because, like, I get anxious like that and, like, feel like I need to tell somebody something. And if I really felt like Snape would, I would try to, like, drop little hints like that, too.
But, like, would you actually have knocked it out of
Oh,
his hands?
no. Probably
I wouldn't
not.
have knocked it out of his hands, but I probably would have done something similar to Harry and like tried to tell him all the bad things I know about this person. Like I wouldn't trust them; they're not trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes against my Hufflepuff nature to knock something out of somebody's hands. I just don't.
Are
Especially
you a
food.
Hufflepuff?
Kind of rude. Yeah, I am. in case
Whoa, I didn't know that. You have not
you guys
told
weren't
us that
sure.
yet.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like, Snape tried to poison Neville's toad once. And,
Right,
uh,
yeah.
He might be trying to
exactly.
poison
He might be
you.
trying to do
Yeah.
that to you. He might turn into a tadpole. I don't know.
Yeah, be careful.
You kind of sound like that one girl from SNL where she's like,
Yeah, you're right.
what would you be excited about at the feast?
All
Food or
of it.
entertainment?
Food.
I was thinking about that entertainment. I mean, I'm obviously food for me too, but like, come on, food and the ghosts doing their thing. Like, that's
Yeah.
actually, that's a cool little,
Yeah.
scene.
I'd be ready for all things pumpkin.
See, I'm not a
Yes.
huge fan of pumpkin stuff.
Do you think they have
I just
PSLs
said
appear on the
pumpkin.
table?
Yeah, totally.
Probably.
In little Starbucks mugs.
Yeah.
What would Starbucks be called? What's the top leading coffee place in the wizarding world?
Wow.
I know.
That's
I mean, really, it could be Phoenix Coffee, which is an actual coffee brand.
Delicious
Yeah.
stuff.
What would be a good coffee name?
I know.
I got nothing. That's
Accio Beans.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Or
Confundus
Accio
Coffee.
Swish
Ooh.
and brew.
So, guys, Swish and Flick is coming out. Swish and Flick is coming out with their own brand of coffee. It's called Swish
Wow.
and Brew.
wow.
Do you think, serious question,
Seriously?
yeah. Do you think that they were serving sausages at this feast?
Absolutely.
I think they were pumpkin sausages.
Yes.
Your favorite.
Can you make a special request? Does it ever happen, or do you even need to? Because there's just so much goodness up there.
I don't know. You
The
guys are
feast.
close to the kitchen, so you would know more than
I
we
bet,
would.
like, if
mean,
you
just
have
during the
allergies
feast,
or
you
you're,
know.
like, you're
Oh,
vegetarian
yeah,
or
that
something.
Yeah,
would
but like,
be,
can you
you know,
be a wizard and have allergies? Because you could be like, allergies removo. Bye. I can have dairy now. Give me all that gluten, my friend. Whoop, whoop.
Gluten allowo.
Yeesh.
Oh, my
Yeesh.
God.
Would you have cried seeing the torn thing?
I wouldn't have cried, but I would have been scared.
Paint the portrait.
I would have probably cried. I cry about everything.
I got a question. Wow, darn, it's for the next chapter. I better save it.
Okay.
Write it
Are you
down.
gonna remember?
Put it in your phone.
No.
Make
I
a
mean,
new doc for yourself and write it down.
Go add it in the doc right now.
No, then we'll see.
No, we'll
it.
see it. We don't like to see the questions.
Write it in invisible ink on the doc. Put it in white.
it's close to being this chapter.
They would probably
so-
totally work. I wonder if I
Right?
can do this. I'm gonna do that.
Just put it like way down.
I'm just gonna highlight some of my stuff and change it to white.
Good grief.
Boom! Invisibility cloak on the Google Doc.
Just blown away. blown
Sarah
away.
just freaked out.
Oh my gosh, you could put hidden messages. Hidden messages in there.
That would be a great April Fool's joke to play on our people that like actually read the doc.
Yeah. Just white.
Trust me, the kids do it all the time with their papers, all the time.
They print it in white.
No, they when they submit it to you, like, and we grade everything electronically. At the very bottom, if you just highlight the whole page, you'll see that invisible message there. They've changed the font color. Yeah, and there it is, Mr. Kirk, you suck. And I'm like, well, all right, I guess you're getting an old D minus.
Rude.
I'm just kidding.
He's not kidding.
No
I'm
one's ever
sure.
said that about Mr. Kirk, just to be clear. So,
We say it all the time.
oh gosh.
What do they say?
No, there's different things. I actually, one of my kids, K, I just his first initial K, is like, he does it all the time. It's just little funny, like a joke. Like he'll put a
that's
joke in
cute.
there or something. Yeah, because he kind of knows that I know to look for it or whatever. And then, I let the other teachers know. And like, sure enough, like kids do it just to be funny.
Right.
They kind of see if you do catch it. So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, I think we can go into our fan story if no one else has questions.
Fan story. All right.
Good.
This is a special sort of fan story because today is July 15th, which is one of
If
our
you're not
listeners.
a patron and you're listening. It's
Oh, yeah.
July
It
15th.
comes out officially on the 15th.
Yes. Today is Julie Murphy's birthday, and she has submitted a Potter story. So
Happy
first of all,
birthday, Julie.
yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And here is her Potter story. Hi, Swishers. I'm Julie, and before I share my Potter story, I wanted to delve into my Potter profile. I'm a Ravenclaw, and my original Ilvermorny house is Wampus, Meg. But after having to retake the test, I was sorted into Puckwudgie, which I don't hate. P.S. As I'm writing this, I can hear Katie's voice narrating it. Your wish has come true. My wand is a redwood with a phoenix feather core, 13 3/4 inches, and supple flexibility. And alas, my Patronus is also a bird, a nightjar? I've never heard of that one. I don't hate it, but I feel like it should be a warm and fuzzy creature. I joked that my anxiety Patronus would be a kitten, while the nightjar would fend of anything dangerous. I like that you could have maybe more than one Patronus depending on your situation. That's cool. On to my story. My apologies because it's pretty long. My Potter story is very similar to others. My mother got me the first book and said she heard that it was a popular series that I should try reading. I love to read, but at 12, the fact that my mom suggested it meant I wanted nothing to do with it. The first 3 books were out, and the 4th was released that summer. Summer came, and it was time to read the books off of my school summer reading list. That year, I had to read Uncle Tom's Cabin. If anyone has never seen this book, it's about 400 pages, and the font is itty-bitty. I read the first chapter and then went looking for literally anything else to read. Cue Harry Potter. I picked it up and thought, why not give it a try? It can't be any worse than required summer reading. I, of course, fell in love. I didn't finish the first 3 in time to go to the midnight release of Goblet of Fire, but I didn't miss a single one after that. The Half-Blood Prince was released the day after my birthday. Wow, that's coming up, anniversary. So the Barnes & Noble release party was my 18th birthday party. That's pretty sweet. Everyone was there for me, right? Not for Harry Potter. My older sister went with me, and it was probably one of the best birthdays of my life. Fun anecdote, and I like this because I'm a graphic designer. The last movie came out on my birthday as well. My boyfriend at the time took me to the midnight release, and they were doing Harry Potter trivia before it started. I had to use the restroom and had to miss the last trivia question. I came back from the bathroom and asked what I missed, and he said, "Can you believe that people actually know the font in the books?" I turned to him with a straight face and said, "A Garamond size 12.
Wow.
He just kind of looked at me with this bewilderment and turned to watch a preview. So I of course felt like I had to explain myself and probably made it worse because I said, "What? Anyone who has written Harry Potter fan fiction obviously wanted to use the same font. I know I did." My resume podcast outlines that basically anything I write in life is in Garamond font. Her Potter story was in Garamond font, by the way.
Funny.
I reread the books all the time and went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter when it was just Hogsmeade in 2013. But that was the extent of my Harry Potter obsession as the years passed. I've always felt a strong connection to the Wizarding World, and I would always ask for Harry Potter stuff for holidays, but I didn't have many friends who felt the same. My obsession started to grow again as I reread the books at 29. For some reason, they spoke to me in a different way. I'm totally learning that now. I was in a terrible relationship, and it became my escape. Loot Crate came out with a Harry Potter box, and I have a subscription, but it wasn't until I started listening to Swish and Flick did my obsession truly resurface. I recently walked away from that abusive relationship. I was still in love with him, but he was a drug addict who was destroying my life as well as his own. It was the hardest thing I've ever done to walk away from someone I was in love with, and I desperately needed a distraction from the heartache. In came Swish and Flick. I met Megan while waiting in line for a Hanson concert. In Disney, it's no surprise we became friends. She's still saved in my phone as Megan Hansen. And of course, Katie, that's me, was there. She said, you don't have to read this part out loud, but I think it's funny. I remember Megan and I waited after the last concert to meet Hansen, and we saw Ike walking past the Japan pavilion, and we both freaked out and got selfies with him. Then we managed to get selfies with Zach, and I had to meet my ride back to the hotel, but Megan went to the boardwalk to try and see them. About a half hour later, she got a text from Megan Hansen, and it was a picture of her in her sparkly Christmas Mickey ears and Isaac Hansen in a hallway at the boardwalk. We've kept in touch over the years, and I knew they had Swish and Flick, so I downloaded the first episode and never looked back. I listen to the episodes when I'm in a bad mood or sad or just need another Harry Potter fix. I have come to love all of you. I laugh out loud at half of Seraph's comments and Tiffany's recap, and the Swish and Flick Facebook group is awesome. I feel like I've made 1,000 new and insanely awesome friends.
You only laugh at half my comments, not all of them?
Jeez.
I don't know how I feel about that, Julie.
She laughs at all of mine.
You're not that funny.
I'm hilarious.
You're just funny looking.
You remember when Sarah would always go, hilarious?
You're like, oh, that's hilarious. Not.
But thank you, Julie, for sharing your story. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. And
You're
I'm glad-
awesome.
And I'm glad that I met you 5 years ago
Whew.
Wow, really?
at Epcot. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
The
It was a good
experimental
time.
prototype community of tomorrow.
FYI, she is also saved in my phone as Julie Hansen.
Wow.
All right.
And I went to go and call her the other day, and on my phone, or on my car, it's like voice. So I was like, call Julie Murphy. And then it was like, no contacts with that name. And I'm like, what? That's her name, isn't it? And then I was like, oh, Julie Hansen. I forgot.
I'm sure she'd love to be Julie Hansen.
Aren't they all
why we
married?
did
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Do we want to shamelessly plug our projects?
Yeah.
As you can go first.
Yeah, you
You
can
may
go
go
first.
first?
Yeah.
I always go
again,
last,
Hey,
so.
thanks for letting me, sit in here with you guys. And
Thanks
just
for being
do
here.
A little Potter discussion, just good to get it out of my system here.
Is that Bud?
No, that was not Bud. That was just, I was,
He's going to hang out with us so much, he's going to have his own personality.
know,
There'll be
right?
Yeah, who was that?
Julian.
You have to name them.
I don't
Julian
know
is
who that
Lane's,
was.
and he's got to get
I'll
one.
name. I don't know. I'll figure one out.
Yeah,
I'll figure
the
something out.
name will come to you. Florence wasn't
Okay.
always Florence. She was no name for a while.
But anyways, no, seriously, thanks. It's fun. So basically, I do a couple other projects. I didn't mention this one last time very well. So I don't want my Matt. I can't even talk right now. My friend Matt. I don't want him to get super pissed at me for not plugging this project, but we do a Game of Thrones podcast. It is a book club type of situation. Stole it all from Swish and Flick.
True.
It's it's a Song of Ice and Fire book club, and we talk theories and fun stuff there. And also with my good buddy
What is
Lane.
it called?
Didn't I say that?
You never
think
said
you
what it was
did.
called.
Oh, Bend the Knee. You're right. I didn't say what it was called. You're right.
You did.
Matt's gonna kill me. Matt's gonna be like, dude, you're terrible at plugging
Let's
our
be
projects."
honest. Matt's not going to listen.
True. Let's be honest. Why am I even pretending? Yeah, okay. But no, it's called Bend the Knee. We have a lot of fun over there, so you guys should definitely check it out. I know some Swishers actually listen, so it's cool stuff. Another project I'm working on is an unexpected podcast, Up Talking Tolkien, with my good buddy Lane, who will be at I keep saying Potterfest.
Wizardly World of Kent.
That's what I mean to say.
You can tell that they've had to correct me a lot.
I have to correct myself all the time.
So, anyways, yeah, we talk about Frodo Baggins, and the rest of
Frodo dies.
Frodo lives, and so yeah, we talk about Lord of the Rings there. It's a good time. Also, another book club if you're interested in that.
It's good. I
Yeah.
listen.
It's
I like
actually
it.
very good.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not into Game of Thrones, so I have not listened to Bend the Knee. But I
It's good too.
Really
They're both games. They're
love-
both games.
I really love Up Talking
It's
Tall Men.
late. It is so late, guys.
They're both
It
really
is.
good. Genuinely, if you like Lord of the Rings, you guys will love that podcast. If you like Game of Thrones, they don't talk just about the book; they kind of talk about the show too. So it's a good. They're both good.
I also want to say about Unexpected Podcast. So I've only ever seen the movies a handful of times,
Yeah.
and I have tried
Extended
and
edition?
tried and
Extended?
no,
Oh, we've got to do a marathon then.
I've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried again to read Lord of the Rings, and I just can't.
Did you listen? Did you not like
I-
listening either?
I downloaded the audiobook, and I don't think I like the guy's voice. I'm just.
That does
I
affect
can't
stuff.
do it. So, but with that
Wait.
being said, regardless, I still love listening to the podcast, even just with my
Mm-hmm.
general knowledge of Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like, I still follow it like 75-80% of the time, what you guys are talking about.
Cool. That's good.
And like, I know that you connect things or whatever, and like as spoilers or whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, I've seen the movies once, so I kind of like get the gist of what goes on and what happens. And I don't think that you have to be like a
No.
intense
Yeah, you
Lord
don't.
of the
Point.
Rings fan to listen.
I'm glad
They
you
have a
said that,
good
yeah.
chemistry on the podcast.
Yeah.
Here's my question to you, Ezra.
Yeah.
You should just read the books for us and do our own personal.
Yeah, with your voice.
Yeah,
Oh my
or Lane.
gosh.
He's got a great voice too.
You
Guys.
guys could alternate chapters.
Yes,
Lane or Julian?
Wow. Yeah.
both,
Ooh, alternate between the three of you.
Oh my God, Julian.
and his new voice.
Yeah, I don't know what that is yet, but it's something. Yeah, we could do that. That'd be fun. We could
Yeah.
do some.
But
Maybe
it
then I
just-
would listen.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just for
Okay.
us.
Because
though.
the guy on Audible, not a fan.
Okay, interesting. You know, I am. I don't know. We didn't do it for this coming Sunday, but I've actually taken segments of our conversations, and I'm like playing this for Lane. So when Lane, I'm gonna play that for Lane, and I'm gonna have him, just I'll pitch it to him on our podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
He likes that kind of stuff. That's a lot of reading, though.
I know.
yeah, we don't
But
have to
for
do it
you-
though.
But for you, yeah, we'd do it. We'd do it for you.
I
Okay.
just, yeah, I just don't like the guy's voice. I need a better voice.
Yeah, and actually, it takes a couple chapters to get into it, honestly. And you know what, Lane, I'm going to throw you under the bus here, buddy. But he has read The Hobbit, but he hasn't finished it. He just
See, I've
admitted that.
I
only-
Did you
remember
hear that?
listening. Yeah, I
so
listened to
he-
that whole episode.
I've
it
only
shocked
read
the
The
uppers.
Hobbit.
Let me tell you, he was, well, what? You finished The Hobbit? Like, what happened? And so he's a big fan of the films and the books and the histories and stuff. But The Hobbit, so I think you might like The Hobbit.
I've read The Hobbit. I
you
like
do,
The
and
Hobbit.
you like The Hobbit. Okay, cool. Good.
But I just can't get into Fellowship.
I haven't read any of
I've
them.
tried multiple times, and I don't know.
Katie, have you ever seen the movies? You ever seen the?
I
was it?
saw the first movie.
You did?
That was it. Long
That's
time
it?
ago. I really
it's
have.
so good. Like, it's
I have
beautiful.
no knowledge of
Very
Lord
good.
of the Rings.
It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I would try it again.
I had this. I know that we're going on a tangent here with this, but I think one reason why I didn't get into Lord of the Rings when it was super popular was because it was popular at the same time frame that Harry Potter was popular.
Yeah.
And I remember Lord of the Rings got nominated for like every Oscar
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
And Lord of the Ring and Harry Potter got
yeah.
nominated for some, but Lord of the Rings always beat them. And it was like this event. Like, I just hated Lord of the
my
Rings
God.
because beat
yeah.
Harry Potter and everything. And I was like, damn you, Lord of the Rings. I want John Williams to win Best Music. And it didn't. So I think that that's kind of part of my holdup with it. But I'm
got a grudge.
Yeah, it's a grudge. But I'm enjoying listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Dun 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 dun. Sorry.
Like, I loved the movies because, like, growing up, I went with my dad. He took me to see all of them because I think he didn't want to go alone. So he's like, Sarah, come with me. And daddy-daughter time. I don't
Yeah.
call
Hey,
him that.
you know,
Father-daughter
real quick
time.
though, for JK and what's happening in Harry Potter,
JK.
the world building. I can't speak anymore. That she's starting to do that, right? So that's what Fantastic Beast is about,
Yeah.
right? Is giving us the histories and all of that.
Yeah.
taking
stuff.
us to other countries and
Yeah.
viewing the Wizarding World, which is really awesome.
Yeah, I think
I
that's,
can't wait to learn about France
Yeah.
in this upcoming one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's really really neat.
I want to go to Ilvermorny. JK, are you out there? Dear Joe,
Yeah.
show me Ilvermorny.
JK, are you out there?
Please show us all the things.
All right, you guys want to plug your stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Katie and I are on another podcast called Grown Up Kids. It's a Disney podcast where we chronologically watch all the Disney films. We are currently still in the 50s, going to be there a while. We just did Robin Hood and His Merry Men comes out today with not the animated Robin Hood,
Okay.
the
so
old
good. I
live
love the
action
animated
Robin
one.
Hood,
Okay. Yeah.
which
You're like,
actually was good.
It's so good.
It's
gonna
good.
watch
You'll
it.
like it.
I
You'll
like
like
when
it.
he kisses the jewels off his finger.
And next week actually is Peter Pan, and I'm
Wow.
pretty
He can fly.
excited to talk about Peter
Wow.
Pan.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm excited to make the comparisons of Robin Hood and His Merry Men and Peter Pan because like it's funny that they're one right after another, and there's
Yeah.
like a lot of similarities with them, with Robin Hood and his clan, and then like Peter Pan with the Lost Boys. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to talk about it this week.
Would you say that Peter is so fly he never lands?
Yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
But if you want to check us out, we are everywhere that Swish and Flick is. So Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify. Check us out.
They also are always physically where Swish and Flick is at least half the time because
True.
they're half of Swish and Flick.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
We also have, me and Meg, have a Etsy shop called Akio Designs. We're also going to be featured at the Wizardly World of Kent. So we make a
And
ton
have
of
a booth.
posters. We have new designs this year. So if you came last year, you can come back.
Do
See
you
some
really?
new stuff.
We
Yes,
got
sir,
some
we
new
do.
ones,
We have
yeah.
some
Guys,
new
I haven't
ones.
seen any of these new designs.
Because we haven't released
Are
them
you
to the
Yeah,
kidding
they're
me?
yet.
secret. And one kind of has a little bit of a tie to Swish. So
It might.
Wow.
Fun fact, guys, all 4 people sitting at this table right now will be at the Wizardly World of Kent.
oh yeah.
Wearing purple.
Tiffany will be there for a little bit too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Your turn, Sarah.
All right, guys. It's my project. I learned about this from a dude recently. So I've decided I'm going to build a life-size R2-D2.
oh really?
And if that goes well, I think I'm going to make a little BB-8.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Daggone it. You know?
I said it. I said it. It's out there. What happens if I make it better than yours that you're not making yet and before you?
I hope you do. I hope you do. Can you just buy the materials for me and then
I
we
don't
can
have
just
that kind of money.
come on, you know?
I want the real fancy one though. Like maybe it could be like a cooler that you open up and like a fresh beverage comes out.
Yeah, that'd be probably easier than the legit R-Tube, yeah.
A fresh
I mean,
beverage.
gosh.
I made him drink a Polar today, like a sparkling water
Yeah.
that's cranberry lime flavor. He did not appreciate it.
That's a good flavor.
It's the best flavor.
And I don't
Yeah.
like sparkling water, and I like that one.
I'm gonna build a life-size R2-D2.
You do you.
That's gonna be my next project. I also kind of do it other. Right? What?
Oh, you could actually make R2 in Swish colors. You could do like a purple and like
I'm not a big fan of purple.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Swish
Be
2,
kinda
Flick
cool.
2.
Okay. No.
S2, F2.
Whoa.
I'm also. We all know that like not that I
S7,
don't care about
F7.
R2-D2.
Yeah.
But one would say that I'm a huge fan of the good old BB-8.
BB 1.8.
He's the bomb.com,
BB
my friends.
2.8.
Yeah.
BB 7.8.
Oh.
Okay, 7.7. But yeah, that's what my new goal is, to build a life-size R2-D2.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I should legitimately look into. Well, he can tell me how to do it because he's looked into it. Wouldn't that be really cool?
That would be really cool. And I'm sitting over here like hoping to God you'll actually do it. Like
Because he clearly is the one who I sold the idea from.
just talking to this dude, and this dude said,
I'm a
R2's
nerd. Look
pretty
at the
cool.
Star Wars stuff. These geeks all got together and made some Star Wars stuff.
"Oh my gosh, that's great."
All right, that's it.
All right. I guess we'll put Tiffany right here.
Tiffany, you ain't on the podcast because you just had a baby.
Well, on that note, that concludes this week's episode. So thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing, just like my voice.
Hello and welcome to an unexpected flicker. Blah, blah. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Megan.
Wow.
Hey, this is Katie.
I'm Florence.
So we're checking, and that sounds good.
And I am checking as well.
Wow,
I was a
you're-
little bit high. I'm a
you
little
are-
bit loud. I'm a little louder than everybody else,
That's
apparently.
weird. That's
check,
weird.
check,
Always
check,
loud.
check.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, All right, are we ready to start the podcast?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I'm Bud.
You could do a good bud.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I already gave you one.
Yeah, come on, yeah. I'm ready on the.
All right, guys, this episode is happening now.
Officially.
Episode 50. Do you
we
know
need
what
this over
that
here.
means, y'all?
Guys,
That means we have 2 episodes after this when we are officially podcasters for 1 full year.
are you ready?
Pretty crazy.